Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Locker Room with, as you see, your only host today, Jeff Walsh, my co-host and my partner in crime, Anthony Young. He is in the studio, but he doesn't have his voice today, so he is kind of just observing from the sidelines. I will have a guest joining me relatively soon. Tony will pop in and out to watch or to talk about certain things, but right now he does not have his voice, or not very well. So I am at the moment a one-man band, and periodically I will get other people in, and here we go. Jason, there he is. Daniel, you'll take care of it. So as you see, Jason will be here in about 20 minutes. So I will do what I can do about stall. Um, uh, and not get through as many games as possible, but I will, I'll start with some major injuries, actually. I'll do that one. I won't really talk about any of the games yet. I'll go through a lot of injuries. A lot of injuries happened, this week, and a lot of big ones as well, that will sideline a lot of key players for these teams that some are struggling and they need to bounce back. And without these players, it's going to hurt. A little bit of a coincidence. Um, Two former Steelers running backs. They are out for the season now. Chargers running back Najee Harris, he tore his Achilles, and James Conner snapped his ankle. So they're both out. Najee Harris, I absolutely loved on the when he was with us on the Steelers. I never had a problem with him. People really hated him and was trying to uh, really get rid of him so we can have Warren, which was kind of upsetting because to me, he's a great player that he doesn't talk trash. He doesn't do any of the fancy stuff. He just goes out there and he plays the game the right way. And I always like players like that, especially when they're on my team. Same thing with James Conner. James Conner, he has more of a flair to him where he will talk trash, but he is a lot like Najee Harris. And to see both these guys go down in the same week is a little bit of a coincidence for sure. It does suck, and hope that they have a speedy recovery. In that same Arizona game, Nick Bosa, the defensive end for the San Francisco 49ers, he tore his ACL. Um, he'll be out for the season. The Niners didn't think it was that serious, but it absolutely was. That's a huge loss for that Niners defense, especially with all the injuries on the offensive end. That was the one side of the ball that they were pretty much um good on as far as injuries. There was no real problems, and now they take a big hit there on that end with Nick Bosa being out for the season. Big wide receiver injuries. Two of them here. CD. Well, I mean, there's three. Terry McLaurin on the Commanders. Uh, he's hopefully only going to be out this upcoming game, but he's seeking more opinions on his injury. It's a quad injury for Terry McLaurin, so we will see the extent of his injury pretty soon. CeeDee Lamb in the Bears game, he went down in the first quarter with a high ankle sprain, and high ankle sprains are very, very bad. They're very painful, and he'll be out 3 to 4 weeks. As much as he hates it, and Jay, you're good, man. There's no need to apologize. We appreciate you filling in. Um, Yeah, CeeDee Lamb. Uh, you saw in the offense there when he was not on the field, it kind of hurt that offense. But Jake Ferguson stepped up. I don't want to talk about the game too much because we will be talking about it in a bit. But CeeDee Lamb, as we know, the best player on that offense. Hopefully, he'll be back and better than ever. I know for especially you fantasy football lovers. He was it's a big hit to your team as well. Uh, Tampa Bay wide receiver Mike Evans, he strained his left hamstring. He'll be out 2 to 3 weeks. Um, that is a huge below to the. Sorry, just muting notifications because they seem to all go off at once right now. Um, that's a huge blow to this Tampa Bay team who is 3-0. Offense is humming right now, and Jabuka, I think, has been really benefiting with Mike Evans out there. He's getting more open targets, and now with Mike Evans not there, Jabuka is going to be the number one wide receiver, and we will see how that goes for him. Again, out 2 to 3 weeks with a strained left hamstring. Uh, Tony's team, running back Tyrone Tracy, he dislocated his shoulder. He'll be out 2 to 3 weeks. But don't worry, they have a phenomenal rookie in Cam Scotabo, who is really doing a good job. Just filling in for what they need. They're really using Singletary and Tyrone Tracy was kind of tossed off to the side already anyway. So they should be all right there at the running back spot with Scatabo. Jets linebacker Quincy Williams with a shoulder injury. He was placed on IR. He will be out 4 weeks. Uh, that's a minimum of 4 weeks when you're placed on IR in the NFL anymore. So, and that's a vital part of their linebacking core there in New York with the Jets. And Philadelphia linebacker Nolan Smith, he re-injured his triceps injury that he got surgery on in the offseason. He was placed on IR as well, and he will be out for a week. So that Eagles defense, which is very 50-50 right now, lose another piece to that defense that they could desperately need, use out there on the field. So those are the key injuries. What's up, Brian? Um, those are the key injuries that happened this week. There was a few others, but not as much the as that list. Not as big of a list of what I used to have for any OG viewers. I would have a list about almost a whole page long of injuries a very long time ago. But I know Tony remembers me doing all that. But yeah, I figured I would throw in the um those key ones because those are very important injuries. All right, I will start since it's my team. I'll start with the Steelers and Patriots game. We won at least 21-14. Um, not happy with the win. Um, I feel a lot like week one. Uh, we forced five. I mean, we forced 5 turnovers. It's almost like the Patriots were eating popcorn on the sideline and just didn't wipe off their hands. They had 5 turnovers. Drake May had a fumble and interception. Ramondre Stevenson, he had 2 fumbles himself. Antonio Gibson had a fumble, and the other running back had a fumble as well. So we got. Wait, no, nope, that's it. That'd be 5. I can count. So that is we got extremely lucky. They pretty much handed us this game. And a lot of the times when we got the turnovers, we couldn't do anything with them, which is very concerning. at least Aaron Rodgers came out after the game and straight up admitted he's like, yeah, our offense is really bad. There's a lot of things that we got to change and do better. I'm glad he's not playing the blame game. He's not, you know, pointing the finger. He's pointing right at himself, and I'm glad that he's doing that. He went 16 for 23, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, interception. That interception was thrown right to Robert Spillane. I don't know what he was doing on that one. I I was perplexed because I think at that point we just got or it was just the start of the third quarter. We just got a turnover, and he threw it right back to them, which sucked. Jalen Warren, we still can't get this running game going. We're through 3 weeks and it's not good that we can't get a run game yet. He had 18 carries for 47 yards, 5 receptions for 34. Calvin Austin and DK Metcalf both had 3 receptions for just about 34 yards, and they both got the touchdown. Um, and the Patriots, Drake May, it looks like they really, as much as our defense got 5 takeaways, they were still able to kind of go up and down the field on us. And again, if they didn't turn it over so much, this would have been a completely different outcome, and we could be looking at us sitting at 1-2, like the whole rest of the AFC North. Drake May, 28 for 37, 268, 2 touchdowns, interception, and a fumble. Stevenson, in 4 carries, he had 2 fumbles. Hunter Henry was pretty much their only target that was doing anything with the ball. He had 8 receptions for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. And like I said, New England, as a team, had 5 fumbles. So, again, as a Steelers fan, I'll get my outlook on this game real quick. Again, not very happy with this game, how it turned out. Again, obviously happy that we got the win, not happy in the manner that we did. Again, it says that we got 5 turnovers. They dropped the ball a lot of the times. It was very opportunistic. And again, our offense needs to step it up. After week 1, it's been a downhill slide, which is not a good sign. This upcoming week, we're going into Dublin, Ireland, to face the Minnesota Vikings without JJ McCarthy. So hopefully our defense can get after Carson Wentz, but Carson Wentz looked really good this past week. So we will see how that how that goes. But there's nothing in this game that I come away with that I'm very intrigued about. It's mostly like I'm more worried. I have more concerns than questions answered for me. So I really hope to get some of those questions answered this upcoming week against the Vikings, who, in my opinion, are more talented than especially without JJ. But we will see. I don't want to bite my words yet. So I will not talk about the Colts game yet. The Eagles game was crazy. I'll talk about the Packers game. I'll kind of skip around. Packers, there was like no offense at all. Packers, the one of the who we thought the top 5 teams were in the NFL, fell flat on their face against the Cleveland Browns, which could have one of the best defenses in the league. People might come around at me for that, but that defense is really, really good. It pretty much always has been, and when they stop a team like the Packers, I think they have reasonable cause to be named as that. Jordan Love, he went 18 for 25, 183, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Josh Jacobs only had 30 yards rushing on 16 carries. And Matthew Golden was their leading receiver with 4 receptions for 52. Again, there was like no offense in this game at all. It was a defensive battle. Joe Flacco, old man Joe Flacco, 21 for 36, 142, and an interception. And Quinshon Judkins, he had 18 carries, 94 yards, and a touchdown. And David Njoku got 5 receptions for 40 yards. That was their leading receiver. Um, Again, very shocking outcome to this game. It was a come from behind win by the Browns in the final quarter. I wasn't watching it, I'll be honest, because I was watching the Steelers game. But an absolutely shocking turn of events. I'm like, all right, Packers got this, and then it switched really, really quickly. Um, Again, like I said, everyone in the AFC North is 1-2 except for us, which are 2-1. Um, oh boy, troubles here. Tr- Troubles here.
Going on here? Why isn't? Did you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Jay.
Okay, all right, all right, all right, good. All right.
There's my guest. There he
What's
is.
up? How's everyone doing? Nice to see you.
JDW. Nice to see you, Jay. I haven't seen you in a while, but JDW, on the JDW Sports Network. People, go check him out. He's a great guy for this. Filling in for Tony this week. Uh, Mr. Sickly Tony. Jay, hope you're feeling a bit better from your health scare there, man. I haven't really seen you since then, so it's good seeing you. And again, I appreciate you filling in for Tony. I really really do. I appreciate it. So, how you doing, Jay?
I'm sore. I'm still recovering. But getting better day by day, getting there little by little. But excited to be on. Haven't been on him for a little while. Hope you get better soon, man. You getting there? Is it Daniel Jones?
No,
Is
we're
it
not talking
Daniel
about
Jones?
Daniel Jones yet. I talked about the Steelers game real quick. I talked about that Steelers game real quick. I talked about how I'm not really too intrigued about how we played. We got very lucky with that
my
outcome.
my thing with the Steelers is like it's just gotten to a point where they've struggled to draft and they have struggled to replace talent. I feel like they're putting more and more veterans in there, and the more you do that, the more turnover you have, the more newer faces you have. And don't get me wrong, all the players that have they're veterans. They've been in the league for a long time for a good reason. Jalen Ramsey, week one, made that immediate impact. It's just these veterans are aging and they're veterans and they're starting to move around the league for a reason. Um, Even though Slay and Ramsey, they're still capable of high level play, but again, older, and it's just about like I feel like that's what the Steelers are at this point. Like I feel like they're settling for mediocrity. They're not going and taking chances. They're kind of just like, okay, let's reload a little bit, but it doesn't feel like they're going all in. I still love Mike Tomlin. I really think Mike Tomlin is still one of the more savvy coaches in the league. It's just now when you're really a defensive guy too, you're struggling with that defense. That's the main thing because when Pittsburgh's defense struggles, they struggle because that's the heart and soul of that team every year. And last week they stepped up again. They looked pretty good. Would they have 4 or 5 turnovers? That's wild. It's just I feel like they have so many different pieces in there that are new. I feel like it's starting to like not having that continuity every year hurts. Not having, not knowing who your quarterback is going to be next year, that hurts because there's always an adjustment period with the new quarterback as well. And Rodgers is at the point of his career where he's a veteran. Like he's a good game manager, but he can't really like put a team on his shoulders anymore. But my biggest concern with the Steelers is that run game because if you can't get that run game going, it's hard to get that passing game going because the tackle situation is rough. Like the Steelers have a lot good going for them, but it feels like where they don't have it going for them is where it's most important, where it's like quarterback and that run game and the defense. Now, maybe the defense will continue to progress and get better as the season goes on. Like I said, you have a lot of new faces, maybe a couple weeks together, playing more together. Maybe that's going to help them gel and get some chemistry. Because when you have two new starting quarterbacks, you lost Minka, you traded Minka for Jalen Ramsey. It's kind of like at that point, it's kind of like you're just, I don't know, but Steelers, man, like they're gonna beat up on the bad teams, and they could do that. And I think they could keep it close with some of the better teams, but we need to see the tackle play improve, and we need to see that run game. And if the defense can stay consistent, and the Steelers gonna be good. I think the Steelers are gonna fight for that last playoff spot. It's gonna be like between the Jaguars, Steelers, because you look at the NFC West. I mean, it's kind of like or NFC West, like the AFC West. It's kind of like the Chiefs are probably going to make it. They're not looking too promising right now, but Chiefs probably make it. Broncos probably make it, even though they're 1-3. What's that?
And the Chargers, they're already 3-0. They'll make it. And then you got AFC North. You got Ravens. I think that they'll bounce back and they'll make it. The Browns and the Bengals, they're kind of out of it already. Yeah. And then you got your Colts who are doing really good, which we will get into in a little bit. Relax. Don't get too excited.
No, you'll see. I'm a fair fan, though. You'll see when it comes to the predictions.
And that's why me and you are good friends, because again, my Steelers, I agree with everything that you just said. We really put like a little Band-Aid on stuff to where it's easy to peel off. And your thought on Aaron Rodgers is really good. I think he's played decent in these first 3 games. He hasn't, to me, played bad. In the Jets game, he was really good. I think in the 2 wins that we have, if we have Russell Wilson, we don't win that game.
Ooh.
He does not win us that Jets game, and he doesn't win us that last game. I don't think so.
Yeah, possibly.
Because Rodgers put the ball on point in those 2 games to where it needed to in the most important spots. I think if our defense can get our offense to that end of the game, I think Rodgers can definitely propel us to get the wins. Whereas last year, Russell was hurting us and not letting us get those wins. He was throwing the ball away, as Tony saw in the Sunday night game. Sorry, Tony. But as we will talk about, he threw the ball in the back of the end zone 4 times in a row. And oh boy. Yeah, I mean, there's no way we win those games with the quarterbacks we've had. We had Pickett, we had Mason Rudolph, Duck Hodges. The amount of quarterbacks that we've had since Big Ben, who I've been lucky to watch, be in those pressure situations, even at the old age that he was at. He was able to propel us to the wins with having a good defense who got him to that point. So I think Rodgers, can he do a lot better than 139 yards? Absolutely. And again, as I said before you got here, I like that he admitted that it was on him, that he can do so much better. And almost like you said, he's new in that locker room. He's new in the offense with Arthur Smith. I hope it'll gel a little bit. And when he goes against a good team, us Steelers fans, we watch it. We go against bad teams and we play down to the level. We do it all the time. And then we play the Ravens and a bunch of the other better teams in the AFC, and we tend to do better. I don't know what it is, but we just tend to do better. So hopefully that will happen. We will go against a good team, and Rodgers will start slinging the ball all over the place. I'm hoping that's what happens. I just have your thought. I just want your thoughts on the Patriots. They're 1-2. They look very undisciplined right now, and that would be like with the Mike Vrabel team. That's not what I would think. I would think more of a discipline and, again, 5 turnovers, 4 fumbles, 2 from Stevenson, and 4 carries. He had 2 fumbles. Drake May seemed very loose with the ball, even though they were able to move up and down the field on our defense, which they were, but they just had turnovers in the worst spot. I just don't know if you have any thoughts on the Patriots and how they've kind of looked in these first 3 games, kind of lackluster from what you would, again, think from a Mike Vrabel-led team.
I agree. I think the Patriots have a lot of potential. The offensive line has been playing better. It's been a pleasant surprise. Offensive line is doing well protecting Drake May, but Drake May isn't protecting the football. He's been very inconsistent. from drive to drive. You don't know where you're going to get. This is a Patriots team that was going up and down the field. They put up 30 plus points in the Dolphins. They'd have the kick return in there. Week one, who do they? I'm already blanking on week one on their earlier weeks because I'm
Yeah,
just
no, I
so
can't either.
focused. But every single week, I believe Drake May has thrown for over 200 passing yards. So they're moving the football, but and the numbers look good. But don't be fooled by those numbers because Drake May is not taking care of the football, keeps turning the ball over. Offensive line is good. I think TreVeyon Henderson needs to be the focus point. I think he needs to be the lead horse, number one back. He's been looking good from when he's been in there in Stevenson. Stevenson's got the talent too, but I just don't know what the fumbling issue is. He had the fumbling issue last year, coming back this year, so it's not just a 1 year thing. Is it a regression thing? What is with running backs and when they get older they start fumbling? Like look at Derrick Henry.
Mhm.
Never would you have thought Derrick Henry would fumble in big games, any game. Here he is doing it 3 weeks in a row. Two of those games are those fumbles are they
They
definitely led to losses.
they
You
could be
know,
3-0 right now. Oh, and they
yeah,
played the Raiders week one and they lost 20-13,
Raiders,
which is a
Raiders in
game
week one.
which is a game they should have won. They
Yeah,
should have beat the Raiders. There's no way that they lose to the Raiders. I think they were at home too. Like like that's
it's
that's not good.
I like what you
So,
said. It's a football team that is currently mistake riddled. They're young, and that I would expect from a young football team. Like look at the Falcons this past weekend. Maybe we'll get to them, but just look at the youngness of the roster. There's a lot of potential. I hope that Mike Vrabel finds a way to get these guys disciplined as the season goes along because I think there's a lot of potential with this Patriots team. Defense, I think the defense is good enough. Um, offense is the sky is the limit. Stars are the limit. Maybe the weapons could be a little better, but to be honest with you, it's really not that bad. You guys got you have guys that can make plays. And when you have a good offensive line, it makes everything much easier. And they have a good offensive line. So if they could clean up some of those mistakes, play clean football, like I was saying earlier, I think the Patriots could be one of those teams in the mix for the last wild card spot.
mhm. Yeah, the AFC is going to be very, very interesting with the amount of kind of mid teams that we have right now. The game I was talking about when you joined was the Packers and Browns. What a I I still think Packers are one of the best in the
Yes,
NFC.
100%.
There is not a doubt. I think it was a just very just trap game. All right, you're 2-0. You beat the Lions and God, who they beat last week? I'm like you. I'm blanking. Who they beat? It was another good team. Oh no, it was the uh, Commanders
Commanders. And it was
on
convincing.
Thursday
It was
night.
a convincing win
Yes,
too.
yeah, both convincing wins against two of the top NFC teams. You go into Cleveland, you're huge favorites, and dud. There was like no offense play the entire game. I mean, so I said before you went on, I want to get your opinion. It might be a bit controversial, but Browns, I think one of the best defenses in the NFL. They just don't have the offense to help it. They are going to give up points because they are a bad offense, but they have a great defense to try and at least stop the opposing team as much as they can. Yes, they got a 40 thing put up on them against the Ravens, but the Ravens were pissed about what happened to them against the Bills in week one.
Yeah.
So I can't really blame that too much on them. In week one, they played good defense as well. So again, just your typical trap game in the NFL. Like as you see all the time, uh, only a 10 to 13 game, Jordan Love only 183 yards. Again, the interception again there at the end of the game. That's what I harped on all offseason is can he keep the ball in his hands and not give it to the other team. That's what worried me about him, and he gave it up to them in the final drive. Uh, and again, they did not look too crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly, Tony. But yeah, I want just your game recap because I'm sure that you probably watched it. I unfortunately didn't watch it because I was watching my Steelers stress me out again. But yeah.
No, I'm playing.
But
But Jordan Love is the biggest question mark for me. I know a lot, and he's a big reason why they lost this game. He's not the only reason. But this is a game, even though, and I agree with you on that about the Browns defense. I think the Browns defense is the best defense in the NFL right now. I think they're right up there with the Texans. Maybe the Lions you could put up there. Definitely one of the better defenses in the NFL, if you ask me. Um, the way they get after the quarterback, Malik Collins. What the hell? Where did this come from? We all knew, like, I thought Malik Collins was good. I knew he was good. But coming in the year,
Mhm.
he is absolutely insane. He's just getting in the backfield every single play. And when you get pressure from the middle, don't forget they have Myles Garrett on the other side. When you have that good of a defensive line, everyone is playing at an insanely high level. It it makes it so much easier on the rest of your defense. And on top of that, the rest of the Browns defense is that talented. If the Browns had a half decent offense, I think halfway through the season, I think you got to try and put Dylan Gabriel in. I know that's gonna sound crazy. I want Dylan Gabriel over Shedeur Sanders. I think Dylan Gabriel is a better quarterback. I think he will be better.
Me
I like
too.
Shedeur,
I
but I like Dylan Gabriel more. He's been through a lot of shit in college. He's been through a lot. I love a quarterback that's been through like the fire, and Shedeur's been through the fire too. Don't get me wrong. He's dealt with a lot with the media, and I feel like he's got more mature since he's gotten to the NFL. But I think he's been humbled. But the Browns, if the Browns could get some kind of offense going, Quinshon Judkins is awesome. Absolutely love him. Look at both Ohio State running backs coming out and playing both wonderful. Quinshon Judkins looking great, so they have a run game. Offensive line is iffy, but when you have a quarterback like Joe Flacco sitting back there, it's pretty easy for defenses just to rush them. They can't stay disciplined in their passing lanes, in the rush lanes. They have to, they could just rush them all willy nilly. When you have a quarterback that can run around, you got to stay disciplined on that defensive line. So, but they have some weapons. I like Jerry Jeudy. He's inconsistent. Cedric Tillman has upside. David Njoku's a beast. It's just, I think, only if they had a quarterback, only if they had a guy like Baker Mayfield, man. If they had a guy like Baker Mayfield, this Browns team, this Browns team might be one of the better in the AFC if they have a guy like Baker Mayfield. Wonder who would give him up. Why? Just. But yeah, I agree with you. The Browns are one of the, but that game in general, I kind of got off topic a little bit, but that game in general, my issue with the Packers is Jordan Love. They have all the weapons in the world. Josh Jacobs, they have all the Tucker Kraft's an awesome tight end. Loved him coming out of South Dakota or North Dakota, I believe it was. He's a jackrabbit, but
Romeo Dobbs.
yeah, Jaden Reed.
Well, I mean, he's out for a few more weeks, I think, with the
Oh yeah,
shoulder
that's
injury.
right.
So,
I forgot that Reed went
but
down.
but they have so many other weapons. Like I just mentioned, Matthew Golden was their leading
Yeah.
receiver with four reverse receptions for 52 yards. No other receiver for them got over 4 receptions.
No,
That's
it's not good. And
no.
Love is so inconsistent with his decision making and his accuracy too. So, when you have this kind of a team around you, and I think the Packers have one of the best defenses too. It's definitely up there too with the Browns, and another version of Brett Favre. He does, and on top of that, he also isn't as accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a quarterback like that, when you don't know what you're getting from drive to drive, from game to game, it makes it hard to just be a good football team. Even though you could have everything else right, but if you have a quarterback that can't stay consistent, that's going to give you games like this. And the Browns have a good defense. I'm not downplaying the Browns defense, but I'm just saying Jordan Love has to find a way to be consistent, because Jordan Love last year was shit. This year,
Mm-hmm.
like he has good games, but he's too inconsistent. That's the thing. Jordan Love is my biggest question mark. If Jordan Love can play good, clean football, this Packers team is Super Bowl worthy. That's all I got.
And I agree with you. But another thing on them, again, this is a huge good thing for the Browns defense. They stopped Josh Jacobs. He had 16 carries for 30 yards. That's under about 2 yards a carry. They stopped that explosive running game. So when you could do that, and then Jordan Love is playing how he played, that's pretty much a recipe to success for a win. And again, Jordan Love, And again, that Browns defense is great from line, middle, back. They have great safeties and cornerbacks who lock people down. Their linebacker core is good, and their up front is good. Again, it hurts me to say that as a Steelers fan, but they are really sound and good there on the defensive end with the Browns.
The Browns
Again,
have that Steelers defense.
yeah, like with the Gabriel,
Yeah.
I would love to see him in there.
Yes.
Just because I think he gives them more of a chance to win than Joe. It's not a knock on Joe. I mean, he's doing everything that he can right now. But I think Dylan Gabriel will give him a chance. And fucking, I don't even want to get on a rant about Dion and he's saying, "Oh, the Browns should start my son." Like, just be quiet, all right? Yes, I agree with you. I think he's probably been humbled with hey, yeah, you're third on the depth chart because of your actions off the field because you think you're entitled. So hopefully he is humbled and hey, maybe he will get a chance when they're whatever record they're gonna be. But it's fine. But yeah, Browns with a shocking win, Packers with a shocking loss. Now here we go. I will go into your games. So I skipped around. I wanted to wait till you got here. So Colts Titans. Colts whooped the Titans 41-20. I don't even want to say Colts. Jonathan Taylor whooped. But Danny Dimes, he had 18 for 25, 228 and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor, 17 carries, 102 yards and 3 touchdowns. Michael Pittman, he found the end zone. And Alec Pierce, 4 receptions, 7 yards. Uh, your defense kind of held this Titans offense. Oh, here he is. He will join us.
Oh, he wants it on this one. He wants it on the Daniel Jones talk.
What's up,
He's over
fellas?
talking someone.
How you feeling, buddy?
What's up, Tony?
Voice is coming back, not 100% yet.
He's going back just in time so you could talk about Daniel Jones.
Body's
Yeah,
still
but
a little sore from being sick, but yeah, I'm good.
he said that he'll keep popping in and out. But he'll talk about Colts and the Chiefs game with the
Yeah,
Daniel
promise
Jones
Jeff, I'll
less
take it easy
Giants.
with the
today.
Giants. So
I'm horrible.
yeah. Jay, I mean, I saw your YouTube vid, I think, or your short of how you're kind of questioning about this team. So I will let you take it away and just, because again, our subs are not sub to you, and that's all right. But I encourage them too because you put out some great content, nonstop content. So take it away and your thoughts on the Colts. Again, you're 3-0, but I know as a Colts fan, you still have some questions about this
Yes,
team.
I sure do. And thank you for those words. I appreciate that. The Colts, look, I'm a Colts fan, but I'm also a realist. You know, the last couple weeks, it may seem like I've been a little high on Daniel Jones, and a lot of people know that. Since a week before the Colts signed Daniel Jones, I was like, this is a guy the Colts could bring in, and he could do just enough. Went back, rewatched almost every game of his career, and I told you I was excited for Daniel Jones. But if I were to tell you I thought the Colts would be this good, Daniel Jones would be this good, I'd be lying. I I'm I'm still thinking there may be a time where he comes on the earth a little bit. He has looked phenomenal. He's been absolutely awesome. But the question marks I have about this team is mainly in the defense. I don't have too much to say about the offense. The offense is pretty good. I don't have too many issues about the offense. The only thing I would say about the offense is you don't have that number one weapon guy, that feature guy. So it kind of like can sometimes maybe overthink a game plan, overthink who to throw it to. But all of them are pretty good in their own right. But versus the Titans showed me, and the Broncos too. I saw a lot versus the Broncos and the Titans. This is where my questions are coming from. The Colts edge rush, the Colts ability to pressure the passer is not there. They have almost, I don't know what PFF is talking about when they're saying Latu is a number one rated edge rusher in the league. He's currently sitting above a 90 PFF grade. I do not understand that. I don't care if it's PFF. I don't care who you are. Latu and these Colts edge rushers have not been that good. So I don't know where PFF is pulling that out of. I respect the work that they do, but I don't know what they're seeing there. Latu has not been good. This Edru is one of the worst in the NFL right now. We cannot get pressure on the quarterback. And we saw that. We struggled to bring down Cam Ward. we struggled to, to get him down, not let him go out of the pocket, not let him do all this fancy shit. When you play Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, they're going to put up damn near 40 points on you, 40 plus, 50 plus points every single time if you're not going to pressure them and let them do whatever they want like that. Now, this was Charvarius Ward's first week back. He wasn't there for the Broncos game. Didn't expect that to be a good game versus the Broncos defensively. This defense worries me in general. We'll talk about the Rams game in a little bit, but the Colts got out to that fast start, which really put the game away. That really is why they won. And Cam Ward doesn't throw that pick six. If would, whatever. A lot of quarterbacks aren't going to throw that. That's just not going to happen a lot of times. Good that you take advantage of it, but it's also worthy to note that Cam Ward early in this game when the Colts were up 10-3, 10-0, or it was like 17-0, maybe 17-3. Cam Ward was missing a couple of throws deep down the middle. Like it felt like Cam Ward in this Titans offense was moving almost at will at times. It was just, if this Titans team wasn't as sloppy in terms of playing, all the penalties they commit, the ridiculous decisions by Brian Callahan, the Colts call a timeout. The Titans are getting ready to take a 62-yard field goal. Brian Callahan calls a timeout. No, Colts call a timeout. Brian Callahan calls a timeout. And then it's a false start on a field goal attempt. Bad coaching. So the Colts got fortunate to play a team that is not disciplined at all. And if the Titans score on one of those early drives, something crazy doesn't happen, this is a dogfight till the very end. Now, I'm not worried about this Colts offense. I think that this Colts offense is going to be fine. Big test coming up this weekend versus the Rams. Rams have a good defense, just like the Broncos.
They're playing the Chargers, I think, this week.
Wait,
We're playing the Chargers this week.
Yeah. Colts got the Rams.
No, Colts got the Chargers.
No, they don't.
No, the Giants got the Chargers.
Wait.
Oh yeah, sorry, that's on me. I was looking at.
You're probably looking at both teams, and yeah.
Because I'm looking at because I'm thinking of Daniel Jones. I'm like, there are fucking Giants, you idiot. Because I'm looking at his stats, I'm seeing Giants, and I'm like, in my face. Sorry.
So
yeah, they're playing the Rams.
I'm a Colts fan, but I also like to be realistic. And if you want to beat some of the, this is a big week. If the Colts beat the Rams this week, the Colts are one of the best teams in the AFC. Okay. But those issues are going to remain until they're solved. And until those questions are solved, I do think the Broncos are one of the more talented teams as well. You were fortunate at the end of the game to get that field goal and win that game. You were fortunate. I'm not going to sit here and say, but some penalties went the Broncos' way, some went the Colts, whatever. Colts found a way. I enjoyed it. But the questions still need to be asked. You have to finish these games. You can't win those. You can't win these big games like you won that Broncos game. The defense is going to have to step up. I didn't like Shane, and the red zone offense is bad too. That's another thing I was trying to get at. Red zone offense has not been there. And if you
It's
can't,
a surprise.
and if you can't punch the ball in, it's new offense, new quarterback, whatever. But there's no excuse. You have to get that ball in that end zone. When you're playing teams like the Broncos, now you're playing a team like the Rams. And if you don't have a pass rush to slow down Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Devontae Adams, they're going to torch this defense if you do not get pressure on Matthew Stafford. And the Rams offensive line is looking like a top 10 offensive line right now. So we'll talk about that game in a little bit when we get to. I'll talk about the Colts more, but the two things the Colts need to work on the most is edge rushing and the red zone. If they don't get those things figured out, you will struggle to beat the best teams consistently. And if you can't do that, and the playoffs in the AFC especially, you're not going far in the playoffs. That's it.
Thank you, Jay. I'm just looking at stats here. He has 816 yards. That's 30 NFL. Woo! 3 touchdowns. That's 20th. He has no turnovers. That is something that Tony,
give it time,
is blown away with. But but the 3 games he has no turnovers.
I'm telling you, give it time.
He is first in QBR in the whole NFL, 85.8. So, Tony, I will let you get your thoughts on the game and your guy, Daniel Jones.
Okay. I need to bring Jay down to reality a little bit.
Don't lose your voice. Do we need you to keep it?
Come on, you already lost Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones. You don't need to lose your voice now.
The reason why they're struggling in the red zone basically is that's what Daniel Jones did with the Giants. We struggled in the red zone. It's what he does. He makes poor reads or he makes a bad decision. Or he thinks he's Derrick Henry and is going to just run people over.
That's got
and end up with a concussion.
I can't do this whole quarterback injury bullshit again. I can't do it. I can't do it.
So yeah, be prepared. It's going to happen. It's who he is. Now I am going to give him credit. You know, the first 3 games he has looked good.
Great.
You know, I do tease him and say, you know, a dead clock is right twice a day.
I mean, but he's been right 3 weeks in a row. So, I mean,
that's why I'm giving him credit. He's looking good. But again, it's early in the season.
It is. I agree.
He's not facing teams where everybody's defense is up to par.
Hey, Denver's defense.
We've seen what he did to Denver's defense. That still is mind-boggling to fucking me. I don't know how
he did that one.
That's all right. He's got the Rams this weekend. I hope he can
Yes.
prove it again. I hope he could. We'll see.
Now, if he does this to the Rams defense, I'll concede.
Hear that, Indiana Jones?
But I'll concede. But I do agree with you on the Colts defense. That Colts defense is it's non-existing.
Yeah. The edge rush is bad.
Yes, the edge rush is. I don't know if they forgot how to rush the quarterback or
they're just being nice. And
they
just
never knew how in the first place.
See the field. Yeah, I mean, they're just being nice people.
Yeah,
you don't want to
it's puzzling, that edge rush.
I agree.
But yeah, I'll give you credit. Daniel Jones is looking good for the first 3 weeks.
Comeback player of the year, good?
Okay, let's not get carried away now.
I think if he stays at least all right. You know, like I'll be honest, Jay. I don't see them winning this Rams game. I think it'll be close though.
I don't either.
If your defense can at least look like they're out there, then that'll help.
Yeah.
But I mean, this Rams team, it's gonna be the perfect transition into it because that's the next game that we're about to talk about. They're gonna come in with fire in their ass. With how they lost that game against the Eagles, they are going to. Are you guys at home or is it a home game for the Rams? Oh boy, yeah. The fans are gonna come in with fire. The team's gonna come in with fire. And
it's hard to travel coast to coast too.
Exactly. So, but as long as Daniel Jones looks halfway decent, I think Tony will get off his back. If he at least has over 300 yards, if he has, I'll say 2 touchdowns, maybe a rushing touchdown, and maybe like all interception, Tony, I would say get off his back because really, the reason why they'll lose the game against the Rams is the reason what Jay just said. The defense is like bad.
The Colts defense is opportunistic. Like they allow a lot. Like I think versus the better offenses, they're going to consistently allow a lot of yards and a lot of points. And if this Colts offense can continue to play the way they have, but if they could get turnovers, which I think they have like 4 or 5 turnovers in the first couple of games, maybe they're not the best at getting straight up stops, which is a problem. But if you could be opportunistic and get turnovers, that kind of makes up for it a little bit. At least it gives your offense another opportunity. But you still need to be able to make those stops when it matters most. Because in a big game, at the end, when they're just running the football or just need one first down, what are the odds of Patrick Mahomes or Matthew Stafford throwing an interception? Very low. Sorry to interrupt you, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Again, you're a guest, and You're not interrupting me again. This is your team, and you're very passionate about your team, which is fine. But I'm just saying, I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think Daniel Jones will be the reason why that they lose this game. That's just my opinion. From what I've seen in the first 3 games, Tony, I know you've seen his whole career so far, but I think he's a different guy. He's in a different system, and that's sometimes all it takes. Like we saw with Geno Smith, he was in the right system with the right coach. He did well. We saw with Sam Darnold in the right system with the right coach. He did well. I think maybe that's just what he needed. He needed to change the scenery out of New York and the spotlight of what it's like being in New York. Not everybody can play in that spotlight of the talk all the time. It's a lot. It's a lot of pressure for somebody who, again, Tony. Let's be honest, that team was not that good. I understand he had some weapons at some point with neighbors and stuff, but it wasn't spectacular.
Right.
And the front offense wasn't making dumb choices.
Right.
And he actually has an offensive line in front of him, like he has a bit of time to throw.
Right, and that's something else. I'm not even ready to say that Daniel Jones is as good as he's looked lately. I really do think Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. If he continues to play this way, does it versus the Rams, does it versus the Chargers in a couple weeks as well, because that Chargers defense is one of the best as well. There's a lot of good defenses this year. Defenses are very top heavy. If he could continue to string together these games, I'm willing to say he's a pretty damn good quarterback. I mean, he's done something that Peyton Manning didn't do in Indianapolis. Andrew Luck didn't do in Indianapolis. The only other quarterback to score over 100 points in the first 3 games was Johnny Unitas, which was 1950 something, a long time ago. But I'm not saying he's no Peyton Manning. What I'm going to say is that
that's for damn sure.
But he's literally in the perfect.
He's not even Eli Manning.
He's not even in the perfect situation. No, he is in the perfect situation. And when you have a good offensive line, you have the playmakers. You have playmakers in New York, but when you have the perfect situation, it's difficult not to succeed. So he has done more than manage games, but I think Daniel Jones is I'm not ready to declare him as great. I'm ready to declare him as a premium game manager because it's literally the perfect situation. So that's Daniel Jones.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. Like I said, I know sometimes I seem like I'm really up there, but I also try to be realistic. And sorry, Jeff, for cutting you off again.
Oh, you're good. Again, I understand people are going to say, well, he had Saquon. The offensive line sucked. Saquon couldn't do as much as Jonathan Taylor is doing right now. He had 3 touchdowns. Saquon very rarely did that in the Giants, having 3 rushing touchdowns. So when you can't really get that run game going consistently with the Giants, it's then more put on him to throw the ball, and the offensive line can't hold a block. It's making him rush his thoughts, and some of his throws were really bad there in New York. I understand that, Tony. You saw it. We all saw it. His choices were very bad. But when you have Micah Parsons running at your face, I would make a bad choice too in that situation. So, again, I think, like Jay said, he is in the perfect situation. He doesn't need to do everything
for this team. He also did that against bad defenses too. So
yes. But again, I think he's just in a perfect situation right now with the Colts, and I think he's just doing a lot better in that situation. All right, Rams. I mean, this week has been crazy. I mean, we had to talk about so many games this week. Rams, Eagles 26-33. Eagles had 2 blocked field goals. What a crazy game. Matthew Stafford 19 for 33, 196, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Kylan Williams. What did you say?
You double that this week probably.
20 carries, 94 yards, 2 receptions, 18 and a touchdown. Blake Corum for Michigan, man, he had 53 yards rushing. Puka Nacua, 11 receptions, 112 yards. Devontae had got a receiving touchdown. Jalen Hurts felt like throwing for more than 105 yards. Congratulations. 21 for 32, 226, 3 touchdowns, and a fumble. He had 9 carries for 40 yards and touchdowns. So he had 4 total touchdowns, which is really good for him. But Saquon, hey, wake up there, buddy. You're not in New York anymore. 18 carries, 46 yards. Not a crazy game from him. Not a game that I expected from him at all. But again, that Rams defense is good against the run. AJ Brown, he woke up 6 receptions, 109 yards and touchdown. Devontae, he had 80. He had 8 receptions for 60 yards and touchdown. Dallas Goedert, his one catch was a touchdown there at the when they were really struggling. It was all Rams for a while. The Rams had a good control of this game, and they let their foot off the gas pedal, and the Eagles took advantage. And again, with 2 blocked field goals, and at the end, they had a chance to win the game or tie it, and they blocked another one, and they returned it back for a touchdown. An absolutely incredible game.
It was
Eagles,
just a crazy weekend with all those blocked punts and field goals.
Eagles are lucky to be 1-2. Or sorry, 3-0, because they could be 1-2 with the Cowboys game if CeeDee Lamb doesn't drop all those footballs. It could be a different outcome, and this game could be a way different outcome. So they're very lucky to be 3-0, but they are 3-0. Rams go to, I think, 2-1. All right, guys. Floor is yours. However you guys want to go. Is you, Tony, if you want to go first, and then Jay will lead us after that.
All right. You want to go, Tony, or you want me to go?
Well, it wasn't so much that Jalen Hurts decided he wanted to throw for more than 105 yards. The first 2 games, their game plan was run heavy. You've seen it in Dallas where they just wanted to feed Saquon because they wanted to prove that Dallas can't stop the run, which we all know they can't. We also know that Dallas can't stop the pass either. I mean, they can't stop a Cole if they had to try, so it doesn't matter. In the second game, again, they wanted to be run heavy and feed Saquon. The best thing that happened for the Eagles was them to get down and behind in that game because it forced them to go away from the run and actually put the ball in the air. So I mean, look at the Dallas game. AJ Brown had what? I don't even think he had a target. I don't think he was targeted one time in that game.
He had like 2 receptions, I think. He had like 2 for 23 or something. He had like nothing. Like the wide receivers did nothing in that first game. In the first 2 games, really.
Yeah, because they wanted to focus on everything on Saquon Barkley. Now you see what happens when you actually make it more of a balanced offense. That offense explodes.
Yeah.
I mean, let's face it. In Dallas game, that offense they should have ran away with that game. That game shouldn't even been close. But they chose to keep running the ball. They didn't want to throw the ball. The same thing with the Kansas City game. That game should have been not even close. So yeah, they need to have a more balanced offense than they did the first 2 weeks, and stop focusing on being so run heavy.
Right. And it almost feels like, for the most part, when teams, even though if a team has a really strong running game, it almost feels like when you're running the football, and the Eagles are the exclusion to what I'm about to say, though. It feels like when teams rely heavily on the run and the run game is really strong, it's almost like they're trying to make up for a deficiency in passing the football. But the Eagles, they run the ball so much. I loved what you were saying. When you have no balance, you're running the football, you're chewing that clock, but you're also keeping games close.
Exactly.
When you keep games close versus capable quarterbacks like Dak or any capable quarterback, you can't give them a chance. If you give them a chance, the longer you keep teams in a game, the longer you're the underdog stays in the game, the more belief they have and the harder they fight. And it's almost like the first 2 weeks you just ran the football so much, they didn't feel pressured to get the passing game going, so it wasn't really going. Finally, they had some pressure, and they performed well under pressure. That's the thing with the Eagles that impresses me so much. Like, yeah, I don't like the way they're starting this season. It feels like they did this last year too. They just couldn't pass the ball for some whatever reason. And I didn't even say throughout the season, yeah, they still pass the ball well. They got much better at it, but it's like they always start slow, but I do expect this passing offense to pick up. It's just, when's that year going to happen when it doesn't? When won't they perform under pressure? Because it's really not sustainable versus playoff teams like the Rams. Like this weekend, if they keep a quarterback like Baker Mayfield close in the game, if you're going to keep that game close, you can almost mark that down as a loss, because I think Baker Mayfield might be one of the most clutch quarterbacks I've ever seen. So you cannot afford to keep that game close.
My guy Baker.
Love Baker so much. It's just so bizarre to me how, when under the most pressure, that Eagles passing game finds a way. And it's not that they can't. They could. They just choose not to. Goodness gracious. When they're under pressure, they perform the best. But when there's no pressure, they're not playing well, and that can cause you to fall asleep and lose a couple of games you shouldn't. But I fully believe this Eagles team will figure it out. They always do. They always find a way. They fooled me last year. I'm not going to let them fool me again, because they just have too many weapons to not be too good for too long. You know what I mean? It's just, why do we get these bad games though? Why is it inconsistent? Is the play calling bland? Is it just because you're not calling enough balance? It depends on what you don't know what Eagles defense or what Eagles offense you're going to get in the beginning of the year. And then on top of that, the Eagles pass rush isn't as good as it used to be. So if you play good offensive line, good quarterback, if you can't get after them consistently, they're going to make you pay, especially in late game. So the Eagles offense is just so interesting. But the Rams, how? You have one of the better defenses in the league, and you let that happen. How? I picked the Rams to win this game. I picked the upset, and they screw it up. Oh. Rams. I picked the Rams this week. I was about to say, Rams, you better not screw it up this week, but they screwed up this week. I don't know what to tell them. But come on, Rams. You got to win that game, man. You got to win that game. If you want to be one of the best teams in the league, you got to win those games. I don't care what point in the season you're in. You got to win those games. You got to.
But they lost on the special teams end and the defensive end, because I think Stafford played pretty damn well, and the offense played well. They blocked the last kick. Can you make adjustments, please? You let them block it twice in a row. Can we make some form of adjustment, as if we care, as if they're not going to do the same thing over and over again? That lost them that game, obviously, because it was it was almost like the same play on repeat, because the two of them just got next to each other and they stood up and they blocked it, and Jordan Davis didn't even need to run it back. So whoever had the spread at under or whatever it was at, they're pissed, and whoever had it over is happy, for any betting people. But again, I actually said that they're lucky to be 3-0, because they could be 1-2. I forgot about that Chiefs game and how narrow it was, because these games were that close and could have been shit. They could be 0-3, and I would blame game 1 on Jalen Carter for being an absolute idiot. I would, because honestly, again, I talked about week 1. I don't want to harp on it too much, but the whole energy of the stadium changed, and the whole energy of the Cowboys changed. They just got done trading away Micah Parsons less than a week ago, and Jalen Carter then gets the hee-ho, and he gets ejected for spitting on Dak Prescott. That changed the whole game, and they almost lost it because of that, because the defense couldn't get to Dak. They had no QB pressures, no sacks, no nothing. They could not get to Dak. And then here you go, week 2 against the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. If he has Xavier Worthy, I think they might win that game. But no, Travis Kelce's a fucking idiot, and he ran into his own guy because he's too busy planning his fucking wedding and honeymoon and baby shower, whatever the fuck they're doing. And that's why he ran the wrong route and he separated Xavier Worthy's shoulder. They could have easily lost that game. And then this game, if the fucking Rams wanted to make any adjustments on the special teams end of it, they would have lost this game too. So, Eagles fans, don't be on your high horses too much. Yes, I think the offense will get it going, but they could easily be 3-0 with just one play in each of
You mean
all
on
those
3.
games. Yes, 0-3. In one play out of all those games could have been different. And again, CeeDee Lamb, if he doesn't have the case of a Butterfinger incident, I don't know what the fuck was going on with him in week 1 too. If he
He was
doesn't
eating
drop the
popcorn.
ball, like seriously, if he doesn't drop the ball 3 times, the Cowboys win that game because Dak Prescott, as we talked about on here, he played pretty damn fucking well in week 1. You couldn't even say that he didn't, Tony, and you're one of the biggest Dak Prescott haters ever. He played damn well in week 1. It was CeeDee Lamb who dropped the ball every single time. So, Eagles fans. Eagles.
Really?
Yeah, Eagles fans. Calm your horses. Relax. You guys are lucky to be 3-0. Could be 0-3 with some place going in your favor, luckily. So, yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at that. Rams just didn't want to make any adjustments on special teams because, again, it was like watching the same play over and over and over again with that special teams disaster that they had. Yeah, I mean, that's all I got in this game. I don't know if you guys have any closing remarks.
No, it just like I'm kind of wondering now if there's a strategy or something that special teams or defenses are starting to figure out with blocking field goals. So, kind of makes me wonder how many times that happened because it can't just be a fluke if it happened once. Like it happened multiple times. You know,
There was a
maybe
total of, I think they said 8 blocks this past weekend
see
With
between
that's
punts and field
crazy.
goals.
So special teams have to be figuring something out. Unless it's just
Mhm.
really poor special teams play because it's the beginning of the year. But
They're-
8 blocks?
Well, if you pay close attention, a lot of the blocks are coming on the longer field goals
Yeah.
because you got to kick the ball low to begin with to get it up in the air
Man.
to get that distance. And a lot of them is real figuring it out, and it's like, okay, yeah, they get the trajectory got to be low so we could get so they could get the distance. As far as the punts, yeah, I can't explain the punts. I mean, there was like 3 punts that was blocked.
I don't know. It's wild. We'll see.
Like we need adjustments.
Shit.
And
Or-
here we go. I was sorry. You good? I don't know if you were done or not. You good?
No, you're good. You go ahead.
Okay.
I'm done. I lost my train of thought. I do it all the
All
time.
right. I like being right. And the pick'ems, Tony was
Shut up.
that was crazy for this game. Cowboys and Bears. I mean, what I tell them. If there's a game, Caleb Williams is gonna get his going. He's gonna look good. Ben Johnson's gonna call a great game. It was gonna be against the absolutely abysmal Cowboys defense. And what did he do? He went out and he did it. Dak didn't have a good game. 31 for 42, 51, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. There we go. We could finally laugh at Dak. I know Tony's enjoying it. As much as he was kind of wrong, he was like, "Man, here with the Bears, this is crazy." I just knew it. Again, this Cowboys defense.
If you remember, I said something's telling me that I should go with the Bears, but I just could not trust Caleb Williams' accuracy. He was so inaccurate the first 2 games that I'm like, I just can't go with it. And with the fact that Dak Prescott has been somewhat perfect, except for the Giants game, which is the only game he threw an interception, comes around, he throws 2.
So, Javante, he had 10 carries, had 70 yards, and he got the ball ripped from his hands like a little baby by Tyreek Stevenson. on the Bears. That play was really funny to watch. Jake Ferguson, 13 receptions, 82 yards. George Pickens, 5 receptions, 68 and a touchdown. CeeDee Lamb, I talked about before Jay got here. He left the game in the first quarter with a high ankle sprain. Again, like it'll be out 3 to 4 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. That's a big blow to their offense. And Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson called a great game. Caleb, 19 for 28, 298, 4 touchdowns. They did not get a running game going, but they didn't even need to. 13 carries, 33 yards. Luther Burden, the 301 yards and touchdown. Rome Odunze had 3 receptions, 62 yards. DJ Moore only had like 2 catches, but he got a touchdown out of it. And Cole Kmet got a touchdown as well. Again, like Tony said, Cowboys defense can't stop cold. And we're not even in wintertime yet. They cannot stop anybody. Anybody, anything, anyone. Caleb Williams looked like an MVP out there. I mean, he was slinging the ball all over the place. But I think they're finally hitting their stride. Almost, every team is. Every team is kind of finally getting their groove, getting to it. A new OC. And I think Caleb is finally learning the right steps of how to be an NFL quarterback, which he wasn't given that last year. So, yeah, I think this is a step in the right direction. And the Cowboys, now without CeeDee Lamb, I think it's going to be a very long stretch because, especially with how bad that defense is, and now without CD, it's going to be very, very rough. Jerry Jones, is a fucking idiot as well. He said that it looks like it's a Super Bowl team. I'm like, are you like what? He's like, we just got to figure out something on the defense.
Yeah, a defense.
Yeah, they need to be out there and play. Like this is a bad defense. This is really, really bad. I mean, there was guys left wide open all over the field. So yeah, I mean, I like being right. For 14-31, people say, "Well, CD went out." I don't think it would have mattered if CD played or not, because it was just a bad showing on the defensive end. I don't think Dak was going to be able to keep up anyway. So yeah, Bears get their first win of the season. Cowboys fall to 1-2. So you guys can take it away.
Go ahead, Jason.
Dallas. I always put faith in Dallas. Like, they have good teams. I thought they had a better team coming into this year. Really did. And I still think they have it offensively. And you know what? They did have a better team coming into this year until they traded Micah Parsons. I get burned every time by the Cowboys. Every single time. I just don't learn my lesson with this team. Other than I will still stand by Dak Prescott's side. But the defense, if this defense continues to play the way it's playing, they're not going to beat many teams. And, we'll see if it was just a case of the Cowboys defense. I'm going to give Caleb Williams his props. He had a good game. Is that just how bad that defense is? And I thought this was such a good matchup for this Cowboys offense. The Bears were close to worse than the league in terms of allowing explosive plays, 10 plus, 20 plus yards. They were horrible, and could not stop explosive plays. And that fumble at the beginning, Tyreek Stevenson ripping it out. Love that kid. He is so gritty. He does have his bad weeks, but man, that set the tone. It felt like the Cowboys were moving the football at times, but it was a turnover, Dak throwing a pick, or just some stupid mistake that just keeps setting you back. Before you know, it was too late. 31-14, game's over. And with CeeDee Lamb being out now, like I like Pickens, and I think Pickens is capable of being a number one. Is he one of the best number ones? No. But he's a decent number one. He makes some impressive catches. He's a decent route runner. Doesn't have all the speed in the world, but he's a good ball player. He's a good receiver. You have Jalen Tolbert, KeVontae Turpin. You have a couple guys that can make some plays.
But Jake Ferguson.
Love Jake Ferguson coming out. Javonte Williams, don't know what happened to him. He was one of my favorite running backs coming out in his class.
Miles Sanders as well. It's a good backup running back as well.
Yeah,
I mean, Miles Sanders.
they have good ball players. Offensive line is bad. Matt Eberflus, you are trash, man. You are ass. You are so bad, bro. Like when you were with the Colts, you like he did a good job with the Colts. Went to Chicago, playing, couldn't coach for his life, and then he goes to Dallas, and I don't know. I don't even know what to say about Dallas. I don't know how Cowboys fans do it. I don't know how fans do it. I don't. It's got to be, there's got to be something with coaching too. I mean, I know at the end of the day, it's the players going out there and playing. The coaches can only do so much, this this offense is better than what they've been playing. It's just something wrong with the offense, and then having CeeDee Lamb out on top of it doesn't help. In defense, I just got no words for the defense. It's just straight up bad. Just like I said.
The thing is, I don't. Sorry, Tony. I don't. And you. I mean, I don't think it's really. And I don't want to blame the offensive or the new head coach at all. I think he gets his guys ready to play because you see it in the first drive. Again, like you said, in the first game, they came out and looked like they were ready to ball. In the second game, yes, it was against the Giants, but they looked good. This game, they came out and, like we said, they were moving the ball, moving the ball, moving the ball, and then that crazy strip fumble that happened. I think it's on Eberflus, like you said. He is a walking trash can
He
as
just
far
looks
as
bad.
being.
Calls, go on,
He's so
sorry.
bad.
He calls the same shell every. I'm sorry. He calls the same coverage every freaking play. Cover two, cover two, cover two. No blitzing, no nothing else. It's just cover two.
And the DBs don't communicate, or they fall over, or they press up too much because they feel like they can do whatever they want. Because Eberflus is a moron and doesn't discipline anybody, and he's just bad. I mean, we saw it with Chicago. He could not develop an ant. He couldn't develop an ant. He couldn't help him build a colony if he wanted to. I think an ant could probably coach better than him, actually. Um, I mean, he's really, really bad. I mean, Tony, with no voice that you have, and you could just use sign language to call plays, and I think that you do better than him right now. He is atrocious. He was going against his former team. I understand it's a new coach and Ben Johnson, and he has tricks up his sleeve, but holy God, like you just said, Jay, he calls the same coverage every fucking play. Cover two, cover two, cover two. There's no uniqueness about any defense he calls. And again, oh well, they lost Micah Parsons. All right, well here you go. They got Kenny Clark to, and again, this in Jerry Jones' words, stop the run because you got Kenny Clark. I don't see them stopping the run too much this year, do you? No, I don't. So you can't stop the run like you said that you wanted to with Kenny Clark, and your secondary is shit. And your play caller is shit. So until the shit gets removed,
They're shit.
the defense is still going to be shit. And here's the thing: the offense sees that and is like, they give up
So
because they don't because they're like we can't keep up every week. They're lucky that Brendan Aubrey had a fucking golden leg and kicked a 62-yard field goal to beat the Giants. That's the reason why they won that game against the Giants. Because if not, they're 0-3 because the defense is so bad. They made Russell Wilson look like fucking prime 2017 Russell Wilson. That's how bad this defense is. And then they made Caleb Williams look really good, which I think he is good, but he just needed time with Ben Johnson. This defense sucks. Tony, take it away, man. I mean, me and Jay have taken up the whole thing, and he's just having a good time laughing. So he could take it away now.
All I gotta say is, just wait. They're an accident waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
They've been proving it for 30 years. It's not going to
Yeah,
change.
but not this bad though. Yeah, but not this bad though. Like their
Oh yeah,
defense at
it
least
has been this
shows
bad.
some. Yeah, but their defense at least shows some kind of heart. I mean, this is just. I mean, Jay, you're dealing with the appendix. I think you can go out there and maybe play a better fucking man coverage than what they're doing right now. Like, oh my god, you just gotta stand next to a wide receiver, and you can say that you're playing better defense. Because Cole Kmet on his touchdown, wide fucking open. DJ Moore, he was standing there like this. He was like, "Give me the fucking ball, Caleb, please. Give me the ball." And Caleb finally threw it to him. I mean, they are wide open. Like, it's so bad. It is. And again, we're not even Cowboys fans. We love when the Cowboys lose. But when it's this bad, when it's not even competitive, that's when it's like,
Nah,
it's it's tough to even like laugh and like at them. It's so bad.
Oh, it's not tough to laugh at them.
I'm usually like a Cowboys guy. Like it's almost as if I had to pick a second favorite team. I know it's weird. It'd either be the Cowboys or the Giants. You know, it's what a weird duo. But
Mhm.
it's just I don't know. I've always have not minded the Cowboys, but man, they're really I don't know how Cowboys fans do it, but they break my heart every week too.
Because it's a new season. It's their year.
Mhm. All right. The next one I have on my list is the Chiefs Giants, but you want to talk about the Falcons and Panthers game, Jay? Because this Falcons team, I mean, Michael Penix is not as good as I think everybody thought he was. You guys were high on the Falcons. I really was not. I mean, I don't know what record Tony had them sitting at. I don't think I had them too high. Panthers 30-0 to the Atlanta Falcons, and Kirk Cousins had to come in and play. I don't know. Michael Penix is not as good as we thought he was through 3 weeks. I mean, this team looks like as if Kirk Cousins is running it. I don't know. I don't even have any stats written down for this, but I'm sure Jay might have some
No, this
stats.
is
But
the last second game that I put up there. I wanted to talk about, but I could bring it
because
up.
again, I mean, a lot of people were high on this Falcons. I'm not just singling out you two, but a lot of
No,
people were high with Michael Penix, and he's going to get a full year starting, and he's going to look great. He's going to look awesome. But when you lose 30-0, you couldn't muster up. You couldn't muster anything against. Again, Panthers is also Tony's sneaky team of the year. I'll give him that.
like that.
But the Falcons, I mean, come on, you really do have more talent. Let's be real, you have more talent than the Panthers do. Let's be 100% honest. Penix, Pitts, London,
So
Robinson.
I got the stats real quick for that game.
All right.
It wasn't pretty.
No, like I know because they didn't score a point. They didn't score anything.
Michael Penix was 18 for 36 for 172 yards, averaged 4.8 yards, which is ridiculous. I mean, Kirk Cousins came in threw seven passes, completed 5 for 29 yards. I mean, his average was 4.1, but that's on 7 passes. And
I
he was
mean, at
almost
that
better
point,
than Michael
yeah,
Penix.
the game was dead. The game was dead at that point. It didn't matter.
Bijan Robinson, 13 carries for 72 yards. Nathan Carter, 7 carries for 46 yards. And yeah, the receiving was just ferocious. Drake London, 5 catches, 55 yards.
Ooh, 11 yards of reception.
Darnell Mooney, 4 catches, 44 yards.
Ooh, 11 yards of reception.
Kyle Pitts, 4 catches, 39 yards. That's
I'm not good at math.
That's 9.8.
Mm-hmm.
Bijan Robinson had 5 catches out of the backfield for 39 yards. And Ray McCloud had 2 catches for 20 yards. The longest pass play was 25 yards, and that was to Bijan Robinson.
I think that was on a screen too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't even a long pass. It was just It was a behind the fucking line of scrimmage pass, and it went for 25 yards. This team is, I don't know. I
Have
didn't
faith.
expect it to be this bad. This
Have
is bad.
faith. I think the Falcons are gonna figure it out as the season goes along. This is a team coming into this year. I think I was higher on them more than anyone else. I thought this team could make some noise in the NFC playoffs.
Mhm.
So far, it's not looking like that. But losing 30-0 to the Panthers, you got some issues. I think the Falcons were clever with what they were doing with Kirk Cousins. Couple things. You had to bench Penix. He's going to start again this following week. Sit him, let him think about it. Show him that there's discipline. If he continues to play that way, he's not going to be playing for forever. I thought the Falcons were kind of smart though, trying to throw Kirk out there. Maybe Kirk can change the game. Not only change the game, but if he could look decent, maybe it boosts his trade value before the deadline. A couple teams out there that want a quarterback. So maybe that's another thought process there. But this game, the Falcons were moving the football. Even though it looks like the yardage isn't there, they were given good field position as well a lot of this game, and they just could not convert. Screwed it up every time, and they can't kick field goals. Their field goal kicking is atrocious. What were they, 0 for 2? 0 for, yeah, they're 0 for 2, and some of these field goals, I'm pretty sure one of them was pretty close on top of that.
Yeah.
So I think this is just a young football team that's going to take some time to gel together. It might be too late, but I think Penix does come back, and I think Penix has a good game next week versus the Commanders. I think Penix will eventually figure it out. I like Penix, and I'm not going to give up on him yet, but he did. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. He played like absolute shit versus the Panthers, but
the Panthers' stats wasn't much better.
No, they weren't.
Bryce Young was 16 for 24 for 121 yards. Chuba Hubbard had 17 carries for 73 yards. Rico Dowell had 10 carries for 30 yards. So, yeah, the longest passing play was 23 yards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they still scored points, though.
Yeah.
And 30 of them. It's on the whole. It's on the whole team. It's not even just on Michael Penix and the offense. What happened to the defense? You give 30 points to the Panthers. I understand the Panthers aren't the worst team in the league, but still, 30 points. You couldn't stop the Panthers. Never mind when you go up against Baker Mayfield, when you go up against all these other high caliber teams in the NFC, you gave up 30 points to the Panthers.
Here's a funny thing.
Figure it out.
There was only 2 offensive touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the entire game.
And the rest were what? All field goals?
No, well, the rest was one was an interception return for a touchdown.
And yeah, the Panthers just had short field to begin with a lot of times because interceptions, fumbles.
There was 3 for 3 on field goals.
Yeah.
So there's 9 points. And then the 3 touchdowns. Yeah. So there you go. There's all your points.
So yeah, they made. I just think this was a Panthers team that took advantage of those mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have a lot of yards. If you just look at this game was weird. The Falcons had a better third down. 5 for 13, but the Panthers were 3 for 11 on third down.
It was a sloppy. Obviously, yeah. It was a sloppy game.
That's it. It was just an overall sloppy game. But maybe the Panthers, getting a couple wins though. No, this is their first, but getting one win, a win like this could boost confidence and propel this Panthers team into, maybe just playing better overall and in general too. In that game versus the Cardinals, it was like the fourth quarter. They put up all their points in the fourth quarter, made it a game.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the Panthers turned the page that that last quarter versus the Cardinals. Maybe this game was sloppy. Maybe the way they won was interesting and not the most convincing fashion. Still a 30-point win. You can't tell me that doesn't give those young players confidence. You can't tell me that doesn't give Bryce Young some confidence. So I like Tony's take about the Panthers being one of those underrated teams, one of those sneaky teams. I like that, and I still think that's true. 1-2, that's okay. They had the Patriots this weekend. I think they beat the Patriots and move back to 500. That's all I got.
That's all I got too. I mean, I'm just frustrated because this Falcons team should be much better than that.
Yes, they're very
And
talented.
again, hopefully they do bounce back. But to me, I think the Commanders defense may be a bit better than the Panthers. Again, maybe it was just a bad week and I'm overreacting, but I mean, if you're Michael Penix and you got the starting job over someone they paid how much money to, and Kirk Cousins didn't even look that bad, it's a cause for concern. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a big cause for concern because if Kirk Cousins takes back over that starting job, I don't think he's gonna get it back.
Sometimes I wonder if that's a coaching thing too. You have all that talent, and what's going on?
Yeah. But speaking of teams changing quarterbacks, what did I say? What did I say to the two of you? Chiefs, Giants.
It's a bad
Chiefs
decision.
put up 22, and the Giants mustered up 3 field goals. Patrick Mahomes went 22 for 37, 224 and a touchdown. Kareem Hunt had a touchdown. Tyquan Thornton, he has showed up for the Chiefs. I'll be honest, in the absence of all their wide receivers, he had 5 receptions, 71 yards and touchdown. Juju had 4 receptions for 55. Russell Wilson, Anthony's new buddy, Russell Wilson, who'll be sitting on the sideline for the rest of the year because Jackson Dart has been named starter for the rest of the year. 18 for 32, 160 yards and 2 interceptions. What a great interception that he had thrown in the end zone to Neighbors, huh? That was a great throw. What do you think? Cam Scottaboo, a stud, an absolute great player. I like this. I love his personality. I love his personality. He's a great personality. 10 carried 60 yards and touchdown, and he had 61 receiving yards as well. And the leading receiver, other than Scottaboo, was Darius Slayton on 4 receptions for 30 yards. And again, Jackson Dart was named the starter. And he's been named starter for the whole rest of the season. Russell Wilson will be backup. This is what this team needs. It needs some kind of energy. With how Russell Wilson played in this game, Tony, almost like with you and Daniel Jones, I tried warning you about Russell Wilson. I really, really did. He is 0-9 in his last 9 games. 0-9, dating back to last year and in the playoffs.
Why? Who did he play with last year?
Oh, my fucking Pittsburgh Steelers. That's who we played with. And you know what? I was a bit upset when we let him go. But seeing this, knowing that this is what the Giants would get, I felt bad for Tony. I'm like, oh fuck, here we go. There's no way the Giants don't learn from what the Steelers did last year, and they went old instead of keeping the young out there, because Justin Fields justifiably left. I don't blame him for leaving. You want to start sorry ass Russell Wilson over me, and I did way better than him? I'm out of here. I don't blame him. And the Giants now do the same thing. To me, they wasted 3 weeks of their season. 3 weeks. That's my opinion on it. Because let's see, the defense held the Commanders, for the team who went to the NFC Championship last year, to 20 points. Russell Wilson got what? 2 field goals? In game 2 against the Cowboys, Russell Wilson looked good until he threw the interception in overtime. That was a great play. So he had them in the game, but then he lost them the game. So you got half and half Russell Wilson experience right there. And in this game, I just read off all the stats. He had 160 yards total. He mustered up 3 field goals because that red zone offense sucked with Russell Wilson. And again, I love that they showed it on ESPN. The last 4 plays of the game for the Giants offensively. He threw it in the stands, out of bounds, in the tunnel, and in the stands.
Oh, I'll get to that.
What are you throwing? What are you throwing it in the stands for? It's 4th and goal. Get it in the end zone. Make it look like try to get it there, please. I'm not even a Giants fan. I feel bad for Tony because I tried warning him. I'm like, you need the energy out there with Jackson Dart. You need the mobile quarterback. Russell Wilson isn't going to do it. The team is just lifeless with him out there. It is. It's just other than Scatabo, everyone else is like, fuck. Russell Wilson's throwing me the ball. I'm not going against the Cowboys defense. I'm not going to get it. And the throw to Neighbors in the end zone is the perfect example. He threw a pop up. He threw a pop up and said, "Defender, catch it, please." Again, I've been trying to harp on this since week 1. I think Dart should have started week 1 because again, I think 3 weeks have been wasted. Even if you guys lose this game and the Commanders game, which you guys held the other team to 20 points, it still would look better than this. I know it would have looked better than this. Because this team looks, again, Tony, you watched the whole game. I don't even need to watch the whole game. This team looks so just deflated. Like they don't want to play for us. Whereas Jackson Dart in the preseason, he gets a touchdown. Neighbors is sprinting on the field to congratulate him. There's a different energy when Dart is playing for sure. And I think Dable should have seen that. And he didn't, and he went with Russell Wilson all this time. And again, this is 3 weeks wasted now. They're going against the Chargers, a 3-0 team, where it's like, what, if you don't win this game, it's on Dart? I don't think so. I don't think it's fair. So it's all you guys now. I'll let Tony go because he is the Giants fan here. But again, I
I'm
tried
gonna
saying
let
this
Jason
since
go.
week 1. Oh boy, because I think Tony has an epic rant coming. As a Giants fan, so I'm excited. I'm glad that he has at least some of his voice. But again, Jason, you were on me in the comments about this. I was playing a 2v1 situation here with the Jackson Dart argument. And then at work, me and Frank, we were trying to get you on the bandwagon of starting Jackson Dart, and you were saying, no, let him learn from Russ. I don't think he learned nothing from Russ. I think it was just bad. Just Russ looked bad. I mean, there's no other way. Again, he looked good in the Cowboys game, but he lost in the game as well. So, Jason, the floor is yours, man. I mean, I don't know if you have what you got on how let Russ cook, if he cooked or not in these first 3 games of the season.
I think this is the worst possible decision that the Giants could have made. I think this is more Brian Dable trying to save his job. I think this is more forced than what it should be. Look, let's look at some young quarterbacks that went through bad offensive line play, didn't end up turning out, or some quarterbacks that may have went somewhere else. CJ Stroud, phenomenal rookie year. I'm not saying Dart's going to have a phenomenal rookie year. I don't even think Dart is ready to start yet. I think Dart needs time. But typically, history shows when you let a quarterback sit, you let him learn the system. You let him, you let him soak in an NFL system. You let him learn the playbook. You let him get accustomed to the NFL. It tends to work out, ease them in. Don't throw them into the fire. Dart's being thrown right into the wolves, man. I mean, not only is he just being thrown out there with the offensive line that doesn't know how to block anybody, you're also throwing him out there versus one of the nastiest defenses in the NFL led by Jesse Minter. Jesse Minter, your guy from Michigan, defensive coordinator. I mean, this guy knows how to call defense. He knows how to attack young quarterbacks. He did it his whole entire career at Michigan. So you're putting him against one of the most daunted defenses in the NFL for his first game. And then another thing that's good to point out is offensive line play affects a young quarterback so much. I mean, it could lead to we'll come back to the injuries. It could lead to the quarterback developing bad habits. It could lead to injuries. And you know what? There is, with how bad this Giants offensive line is, Dart likes to run around. He takes some hits, and I don't like that. You know, a young quarterback. There is nothing worse for a young quarterback to be thrown into the fire and then get injured his first year. Because then when he comes back to his second year, you know, some people say when a quarterback sits, it's almost. Could you guys hear that or no? Background noise?
Mm-mm.
No.
No,
Okay.
like,
All right.
we're
What was I saying? I just lost my train of thought.
When
The
a
offensive
quarterback
line, the
sits.
injuries, right?
Mhm.
When a young quarterback gets injured, he is now not only trying to learn the game, but he's trying to rehab at the same time and get his body right. So he can't really physically learn the game, can't really physically go out there and practice. And then you see this all the time. Young quarterbacks come back and they never develop. It kills their development, all the smithereens, because when they try to come back, they're not just worrying about the game of football. They're worrying about that injury. They're like, oh no, I can't get hurt again. What's going to happen if I get hurt again? You get hurt again, and you know all of a sudden people are down your throats, especially in New York. You guys know how New York is. They're rough. You know, they want and that's another thing. It's not like it's a small market team. That's a major market team. This quarterback is going to have fans draping, down his throat game one and be like, you better play well game one. They don't. People are going to panic. There's going to be pieces out panicking. And you can't tell me in a day and age now, quarterbacks aren't going to go see that. And then he gets injured. Like, there are so many factors just throwing him out to the wolves, especially in a place like New York. There's so many factors that just like points to just wait. The Giants have a good defense. They have good weapons. Maybe pending quarterback play, the Giants could make the playoffs. I mean, they're 0-3. I think it's a long shot, but I think it would have been a better option to at least put Winston in. I'm not a big believer in going back and forth between quarterbacks. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope Dark has a couple bad games. Okay, let's go to Winston. Let's let him sit. No, I don't like that because now you're going back and forth. Now the offensive players have to keep readjusting. There are just so many different factors that lead to negative outcomes. I just can't fathom putting your young quarterback in there. You're practically feeding the wolves. He's practically a T-bone steak for a wolf. I mean, so, here are some quarterbacks. Like I started talking about CJ Stroud. When he looked good his rookie season, offensive line has been horrible. His entire career. So now we're questioning in Houston. Is CJ the guy over there? He's not playing good. Is he developing bad habits? Does offense just have to be so simple and quick hitting because you don't have an offense line to protect to do the deep game? And I think Jackson Dart likes a deep pass too. You don't have time to do a deep pass. Now, Dart can run around. Dart can create extra time, a little more than Wilson. Wilson's getting up there in age, so maybe that's a thing. But you look at Tua's another one. Look at how good Tua started, man. I mean, that's a bit of a controversial one. I mean, some people were never high on Tua. I love Tua. Now I was one of Tua's last big supporters. Right now, it's not looking good. But look at all the injuries he took. Look at all the hits to the head he took. You can't tell me you can't look back and that'd be like, all those concussions and everything that happened there. Dolphins never had a good offensive line. So how much of that is affecting him? You can't blame it all on, it's a question, it's a conversation to be had and there's questions to be asked, but that's definitely something that you can point towards. So, look at Sam Darnold. Jets, bad situation. Got hurt. I believe he had an injury his first year. Never came back and looked good. You went to a situation, good offensive line, everything turned out. And then let's look at some quarterbacks that sat. I mean, Rivers sat behind Breeze for a couple years. You had Brady. What's that?
Pat Mahomes.
Exactly. Pat Mahomes sat for a little bit. Brady sat. Don't get me wrong, man. Like, I'm not rooting against the kid, but I say put him in the best possible position to succeed. Go, Tony, let me ask you a question. Does, even if Jackson Dart plays decent, with this offense line, say some things go right, do you think the Giants are a playoff team?
He can't be much worse than Russ. He can't be much worse than Russ.
With this schedule, I'm going to have to say no.
All right. So then what I have to say to that is, if you're not even really expected to be that team, if you're already looking at the season as a wash, it's pretty much just Brian Dable trying to save his job at this point. Because, I mean, why are you going to throw the kid out there in a year where you're not even expected to really, go to the playoffs and be that kind of a team? Why not finish the year out with Russ? Or I mean, I know it didn't look good. I get that. No fan wants to sit there and watch that shit. I get it. I've watched Anthony Richardson. I don't want to watch that shit. I don't. Jeff, you've been through some interesting situations with some pretty interesting. You don't want to sit there and watch Mason Rudolph all season long. I get it.
Mhm.
The fans don't want to see that, but it's almost like you're ruining your future in a way. You're hiring the chances of Dart not turning out. Why not wait? Put him in a situation next year. Slate is fresh. He's sat a whole year. He's learned behind Russ, even though Russ doesn't look good now. Russ has a lot of knowledge. Winston has a lot of knowledge. Winston may not be the most savvy quarterback. He's savvy in turning the ball over. It's about it. But at least he gives you like a fun energy. Russ is kind of like the opposite. That's weird. Jameis and Russ are like the opposite. Russ is like this all business guy and this and that. And Jameis is like this all, we see how interesting he is on media. It's like, the W thing, eating the W's, like they're opposite.
Mhm.
But Dart can learn from those guys. And I think if you wait until next year, if you wait that year, I think, don't give Jackson Dart a reason to fail. Don't give him any excuses to have. Build a decent offensive line. You already have the playmakers in place. Cam Scatterboo, incredible. Jeff, you mentioned him. Love Scatterboo. He just runs people over. You see how he ran right through that Chiefs guy? They were saying that he literally destroyed his ribs. Cam Scatterboo is a guy that the Giants could lean on to run the football. You have a start with Thomas. I'm forgetting his first name. Your left tackle, Andrew Thomas.
Andrew Thomas.
You have a start with him. So, if you go through free agency, get a guy or two, maybe draft a guy or two. Malik Neighbors, one of the best young receivers. Wando Robinson. I love Wando Robinson. I love Theo Johnson. You have almost everything in place. You have a decent defense. If you wait one more year, let him sit.
You guys are going to be shocked at what I got to say.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going on pretty long here.
I hope he's agreeing with me finally. I hope that I have him on my
You
side
just
now.
got to get that going.
I'm sorry.
I hope that he's on my side now. I really do, because I've been trying to.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. I'm excited.
All right, we're going to start with the game. Okay. Point A. With Andrew Thomas back, the offensive line did look pretty decent. They was able to. I mean, Tyrone Tracy got hurt, but I don't know why they wasn't starting Scatterboo to begin with anyway. He should have been the starter. Okay, that's number one. Number two. At halftime, Russell Wilson should have been sat, and Jameis Winston should have been put in. And here's why.
Okay.
In the second half, Andrew Thomas was pulled from the game because they had him on basically what they was calling like a pitch count, where they was keeping track of how many plays he was in the game. So he was pulled for the second half to make sure he didn't get re-injured. In that second half, that's when the offensive line looked like shit. Point 3. Russell Wilson needs to learn to not get frustrated when you can't get the ball down the field. Steve Spagnuolo is notorious for taking away deep plays. I know this for a fact because he was a defensive coordinator when we won both of our Super Bowls against New England. He loves exotic blitzes, and he will make sure you do not beat him deep. So they was playing 2 safety high all night long. When you play 2 safety high, you have no shot down the field. Okay. Fourth point. The biggest weakness to the Chiefs' defense is the slot receiver, which is Wan'Dale Robinson's position. They cannot stop the slot receivers. So I don't know why they wasn't using Robinson more often. Scatterboo is a beast. He was running through people, over people, around people, under people. I seen him toss one person in the stand somewhere. Um, so they needed to run him more because you're not going to go deep. The two deep balls he threw, one I don't know where the fuck that was going to. That shit went. I don't even know. I think it was intended for Robinson, but it got nowhere near Robinson. The one that he threw to Neighbors was just pure out of frustration. You could just see that, and you could see the frustration on Neighbors when it was picked off. Defensively, I think we held our own defensively. Yeah, they got a couple of big plays, but overall the defense was fine. We got to get more pressure from Dexter Lawrence up the middle. He was kind of non-existent for majority of the game, except for like that one play where he obliterated Pat Mahomes, and I don't know how the fuck he got back up. Now, do I agree that Jackson Dart needs to start? No. And here's the reason why. This is why he needs to sit for the whole season and learn. Because let's face it, Brian Daboll is not going to be the coach next year. It's going to be a whole new system. Let him start fresh under a brand new system. Put Jameis Winston in. At least the games will be entertaining. I mean, there might be some scoring going the opposite direction, but at least it'll be entertaining. You don't want to, and like Jason said, you don't want to put this kid in a situation where, first of all, you're knowing that the head coach is not going to be there next year. The GM is not going to be there next year. So the whole coaching staff is basically going to be fired at the end of the season, if not halfway in the middle of the season. So it's better just to let him sit. I'd rather him learn from Jameis Winston than Russell Wilson. At least Jameis Winston, he brings the energy. The team will feed off the energy. And you can still continue doing what they was doing with the little package plays for Jason Dart.
I like those. Just get him in there a play or two and give him a chance to see the defense. Get some on film. I love that.
Exactly. But to let him start for the remainder of the season, that's a bad idea. Because, like I said, you're not going to have the same game plan or the coaching staff that's in place this year that's going to be in place for next year. It's going to be something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And it's better to let him start fresh with a brand new head coach, brand new offensive coordinator, brand new game plan. And like I said, with Andrew Thomas, if this guy could stay healthy,
so good.
If he can stay healthy, he literally does help out that offensive line a lot. That offensive line is much improved when he's in the lineup. Because John Runyon Jr. plays a lot better at guard when next to Thomas. Schweister, whatever the fuck his name is, that young center that we drafted 2 years ago. I feel he could develop into a good center, but again, you got to have all your pieces in place. The right side of the line, I'm still a little bit skeptical on.
You guys still have Evan Neal?
Yeah, and they're supposed to put him at guard, but I don't know what they're doing with him.
He loves the Giants fans. I remember him saying that he loves them when they boo them.
because he is horrible at right tackle. So I mean, the line it really isn't that bad when Andrew Thomas is actually in the game. I mean, Chris Jones had a hard time getting to Russ when he was paired up against Andrew Thomas. That was best on best, and Andrew Thomas won 99% of those matchups
Thomas might be the best left tackle in the game right now.
when healthy.
Yeah.
So if he could stay healthy, the offensive line stays together and gel together, and that's all it needs. I mean, when you're moving people around from position to position because of injuries, that line can't gel.
No.
So, make sure they stay healthy. Again, don't. It's pointless to put the dart in the game. Just use them in these little packages that they was doing before. Just go to Jameis Winston, let him be the quarterback, because at least he could take more hits than Russell Wilson can. He'll shake him off. I mean, he's not the fastest, but yeah, he'll scramble and get away. And I mean, we seen Russell Wilson; he couldn't even shake off half the tackles that was got near him. I mean, they could just ship his ass to Cincinnati. They need a quarterback.
Okay, so I have a rebuttal, but that's no offense to you guys, but that's the best argument of not to start him I've heard from you guys is the whole new system. The excuse has been for a while, oh, the offensive line. And again, I understand not wanting to put him but behind the offensive line, but I heard a lot of ifs and hope to get better and maybe we'll get better. We have to hope that Andrew Thomas stays healthy.
But that's
What if
with
there's
any
something that
team.
we Yeah, but I'm saying, but if that's your guys' thing to not start him, who says that that offensive line is going to get better next year? Are we going to sit him for a whole another year then?
No, that's not what we're
Behind him?
saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but if that's the excuse of why we're not going to start him, I understand the whole new system. That is a great argument of not to put him in there. But it's like, I just want to see what I, d- I think he's different than a lot of other quarterbacks. I understand, Jay, you mentioned that he could develop bad habits. It's not good to have him back there. But I think his scrambling ability, and it's funny that you mentioned exactly what Anthony Richardson did in his first year. He would scramble too much and get himself injured, and now look where he is in his career.
I don't think he was ever
So,
good to even begin with, though.
but it didn't help that he scrambled and then he got himself hurt and then he got bad habits. So exactly, I understand like what you're saying. But I don't know. I just think Dart is really talented, and I don't know. I just don't want to just sit him on the bench the entire year because it's like okay, so
Well, I didn't say sit him on
Tony,
the bench for the entire year. I
no,
said
like, I'm just
you could still use them in your little packages that they was doing, that they've been doing.
no, I think he needs to start to at least get NFL feel. That's my thing. I think he needs to start because I don't think he's
Not
going to
if
learn
not
nothing
if
from Russ because he's clearly not learning anything from Russ. And Winston, what if he plays bad? I'm just saying a what if. So like you guys want to start Winston. What if he plays bad? You're just going to let Winston play bad?
I mean,
Is
it
that
can't be
what?
no worse than Russell.
I, I
At
understand
least
that, but you
at
just
least I know with
but like so
Winston.
like
At least I know with Winston, we will get into the end zone at some point. With Russell, that's the only way we get into the end zone with Russell Wilson is if we're playing a team like the Cowboys where they don't do too high safeties, and he could throw bombs all day long. No, we need a quarterback that's going to be smart, not try to throw the ball downfield every chance. and not get frustrated because he can't throw the ball down the field. We all know James Winston has an arm. I think Winston's arm is better than Russell's. The only reason why Russell Wilson's deep ball looks so pretty is because he throws it high enough so the receiver has time to run under it. And we've seen how that worked, where he threw 2 picks.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen how that worked last week against Dallas in the overtime. He threw a pick. Because at some point, those defensive backs is going to realize, oh, okay, we just got to run with the receiver. And as soon as he slows down and turns, we can slow down and turn. We're going to get the ball. Well, Winston, at least he has an arm where he could actually throw it over top of him, so the receiver could actually just reach his arms up and catch it in stride.
Yeah, but like you said, he isn't always smart with the ball either. So that's one thing you got to be careful with Winston. He is known Mr. 30 for 30. That's all I'm saying. I understand this is definitely a move of trying to save his job. I think it's the right move. I understand people are going to have their own opinions on it, and you two are fine to have your opinion. But when the fans are chanting, "We want Dart, we want Dart," give him Dart.
I don't know if you listen to fans though.
Exactly. I mean, it's
you know what I mean.
Here's the thing.
If you're in New York, listen to him. Be like, here,
No.
if this is what you want.
That's dangerous territory. That's dangerous, man.
No.
I would do that. I would.
No.
Okay, you got. I would go on the press conference and be like, all right, you guys want Dart? We want Dart. There you go. We'll start. Here you go. You guys have him.
See, that's the thing. You don't want to jeopardize the future of your franchise. Let's be honest. I'm serious about this for a second. They moved back into the first round to draft this kid, which I thought was stupid to begin with. You could have got him in the second round.
They got him in the third. I'd have been in the third round.
I had him going by the second round. So you could have got him still in the second round. You had a high enough pick in the second round where you would have gotten him. So there was no need to move back into the first round to get him. Now that you did that, you're telling the fans that this guy is the future of the franchise at the quarterback position. Which
he's ready now.
I'm sorry, as a Giants fan, with this regimen, I can't trust that.
I think it's youth movement there with the Giants. I think it's youth movement. You have Neighbors, you have Scatabo, you have all these young wide receivers.
I get the youth.
Don't throw in the old heads. We saw what happened with the Steelers last year. We have a lot of a youth movement there. We have Freiermuth, Austin. We had Pickens, but now we have Metcalf. It's just like youth movement, youth. Don't throw Russ and Winston. I don't want to see the old people no more. Give me young, explosive talent to where he can get out of the pocket, whereas Russ is a standstill target right now.
Jeff, I get what you're saying about the youth movement.
I get it.
I would prefer that they start James Winston over Russell Wilson anyway. Because James Winston is not a sitting target. He can move. And like I say, he's bigger. He could take the hits more where they'll bounce off of him. Russell can't do that.
Could you imagine Jameis Winston's aggressiveness with Malik Neighbors and Wando Robinson?
Exactly.
I think Dart will do that same exact thing. That's just my opinion. I think he'll do the same thing that you guys are saying that Winston can. I think he'll do the same thing. I think he'll again this week against the Chargers. I'm not even gonna look at that right now with Dart.
This is what I'll say
because this is a tough matchup. He's going against the Saints next week. That is his chance to really show me what he can do against the NFL defense. I understand week 1 that he's going against the Chargers. This isn't really a fair matchup really right now. But if he can at least show some signs of life in the offense, which I know, Tony, you're dying for, some sort of life in that offense right now. If he could show at least some of that against a very good defense like Jay just mentioned, I think you guys have room to feel impressed. And again, Do we want to send it back there? No, but I think the only way for him to learn right now is to play against the best of the best, and that's what he's going to do. I don't think he's going to develop bad habits because I think he's a smart enough quarterback. You can go ahead, Jay.
I think go ahead, Tony. I'm sorry.
It's not the fact that he. I mean, personally, I'm not worried about if he develops bad habits. I don't think he will. My thing is, we don't want to break the kid's psyche. We don't want to make it where, we'll put him in a position to, first of all, fail, because that's what's going to happen. He's in a position to fail. You got a head coach that is basically doing this to try to save his job. So that's the reason behind it. So it's not a meaningful reason. It's a reason where he's doing it because it's more of a selfish reason why he's starting Dart. The GM is trying to save his job.
It's out of desperation.
Again, a selfish reason.
Mm-hmm.
The
I think
offensive
this game,
coordinator. The offensive coordinator is just. The offensive coordinator he needs to be fired.
So, I think that this Chargers game is going to be a bold take. I think that Jackson Dart has one of his best games of his rookie season here versus the Chargers. I'm going to tell you why. This is not saying that I think Dart should start yet. I'm saying I think he's going to have a good game. He's going to, and the expectations are going to skyrocket too quick because when you put a quarterback out there that quick, the Chargers have no film of Dart in the Giants offense. This Giants offense is going to change, man. Dart's different than Wilson. Dart's different than, Wilson's the only, but Russ is the only quarterback they have film on really being on the offense. They have a little bit of Dart being in there, but I think Dart will have a decent game. And with the Chargers defense, I think that the Giants defense. I think the Giants defense is going to keep them in the game for a little bit, and I think that this game is going to be closer than people think. Actually, I think that Dart's going to have a good game. I think that this Giants offense is going to come out looking interestingly, surprisingly well, but that's because there's no film on it. No one knows what to expect. So I do feel like this might be one of his better games just because there's no film out there. But once there's film out, I want to see how he does when there's film. I want to see how he does when defensive coordinators begin to prepare a game plan for him, for his offense that's ran by Jackson Dart. And if he could still perform well, then okay, take it away, But I am saying if he does have a decent game versus the Chargers, keep your horses at bay. That's all I'm really saying. But I also go on, I'm sorry. I had a different point, but go ahead. God.
My thing is, you're putting him out there now. I think we got the Eagles next, and then the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what if all three of those games he syncs up the joint?
Fans are gonna be calling,
and that's okay.
Like, oh, he sucks.
Yeah, then
and then the fans are going to be like, oh, we need to draft a quarterback now. So Dart isn't even going to be there next year.
But then I think that they realize that it is the offensive line and what you guys were saying, and it's bad coaching. Right. Then I think they will realize that. But you don't know that until you play them. That is my key thing. You do not know what you have until you play them. You don't. You just don't. I think this is one of the best situations. There's no expectations. None. We are going into this game.
That's the problem.
He's a first round.
This is New York. This is New York. There's always expectations.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, they're already 0-3.
It doesn't matter.
They are already 0-3.
It's New York.
They're already out of the. To me, they're already out of the playoff picture. There's no way they make it with this tough schedule. Like Jay said, there's no film on him. I think he does well in this first game, and then he plays Eagles. Eagles defense has not looked good. let's be honest, they haven't looked good. Yes, their defensive line I think will do better against this Giants offensive line, but their secondary hasn't looked great. Let's be honest with that. And then he plays the Saints. If he could average 250 yards, 2 touchdowns, and if he throws 1 interception, I think that's fairly positive. I think that is fairly positive. And they go 1-2. I'm not expecting them to win all these games. I'm just saying, I think he gives them a better chance than Russ and Winston. That's all I'm saying. I think this is, again, it's a selfish move. They're doing it to save their jobs, and I agree they won't have their jobs at the end of this year because how bad they've managed this. But I don't know. I think he gives them a way better chance to at least look towards the future, whereas you won't know what your future is if you don't play him. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like you have Rutt or Winston. You don't want him starting next year. You won't know what your future holds with Dart because if you don't play him.
Okay.
That's what I like. Like you don't know
saying,
what you.
But okay, I'm going to counter that.
If he plays bad, yes. If he plays bad, then what do we have?
If he plays bad, I'm just going to counter that whole argument. Patrick Mahomes. He didn't play until the last week of the season, his rookie year.
Patrick Mahomes is 1 in a million. Patrick Mahomes is
again,
1 in a freaking million.
Hold on, because you're making an argument. You want to see what we got.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, again, Patrick Mahomes didn't play. Nobody knew Patrick. Let's be honest. Nobody knew Patrick Mahomes was going to be this fucking great.
It's like Daniel Jones.
Shut up.
Dak Prescott.
Nobody shut up again. Nobody knew Patrick Mahomes was going to be this good. The following season, when he finally got took over the starting job. So again, use that same situation where you just run the quarterback out there. I agree. Send Russell Wilson's ass to fucking Cincinnati. Send his ass to Cincinnati. Let them deal with him. Start Jameis Winston. And then the last week of the season, put in Jackson Dart. Now you can get a taste of what you have. Because remember, next season he's going to have a whole new coach, whole new playbook. It's not going to be the same.
Yeah, but at that point, like, why even play him then?
That was my point. Play him? That's my point.
Yeah, but why would you even play him in last week instead of just playing him throughout the whole season? Get him more aligned to NFL playing instead of playing him here last week. And guess what? You play 1 game and you get a new coach.
I mean, instead you play.
No, but you're saying you want him to play one full NFL game, get a new coach, new GM, new OC, instead of playing from now week 4 to week 17 with the same stuff. Yes, he'll get a new coach in the offseason, but he at least has NFL playing to then get all right and get ready to next season, to where maybe he will tell these new coaches, being like, look, I like what we ran here. I didn't like this stuff. That's what he can do instead of playing one full game in the NFL and getting a new coach, new OC, new GM, and being like, well, that's pointless because I only played 1 game. I don't really know what I like to run or what I don't like to run. Whereas he can play these next 13 weeks and know what he likes to run in the NFL and what works best for him. And then he could tell those new coaches what he likes and what he doesn't like, instead of playing just that 1 game in the NFL.
Okay, how well did that work out for Justin Fields?
They're not the same. This is a completely different situation. He didn't. Those coaches were dumb. I would hope that these other coaches that are going to be brought into the Giants are going to be smart enough to listen to Jackson Dart to what he wants, because those other coaches with Fields didn't listen. They didn't listen. They didn't pay attention, or Fields didn't speak up on what he liked to run. I think that's what Dart needs to do. Play these weeks, learn what he likes to run in this offense, because they should keep everybody the exact same. get new offensive line on the right side, which is you're exactly right. They need new offensive linemen, but keep all of his weapons the exact same. He's in the same locker room, just yes, a different head coach, a different OC, a different GM, but tell them, look, I liked running this sort of offense, and then they will implement a bit more new offensive things, and he will agree on that and run it. I think that's what I think will happen with him. I think he will have a different career than Justin Fields, than a few other people who didn't look good at the start, but now look Fields now he's doing a little bit better. I think he'll be different than other people that we've seen in the past. That's all I'm saying.
I think my favorite point that you made that I'm having a hard time that I'm juggling with is about questioning whether the offensive line is going to be better next year or not. I guess that's another thing you could tack on. I like that argument. I'm having a hard time coming up with something against that because I mean, New York has been trying to fix that offensive line for what 10, 15 years now. It's been that long.
I mean, you
And
guys Daniel Jones out there in front of him, and now look at him. He has a good offensive line, and like, look. So that's all I'm saying. Sorry, Jay, you can go ahead.
I like that argument, and like I said, I'm having a hard time coming up with something to come back at that at. But what I would say is, I think waiting that year is just giving him the best chance to succeed. I think it's about giving him the best possible chances to succeed. And I guess some quarterbacks thrive being under that pressure, and I guess you could say maybe you could learn a thing or two about the kid, putting him out there in pressure. Could he really handle that New York media? And if he could do that, then okay, that's impressive. But the odds are low of that happening. And, is that the best move to make? I'm not saying it's like the worst and it might be up there, but I just feel like waiting until next year is just your best chance. Cause like I said before, Dart takes hits, man. And if he gets hurt, then his development becomes 10 times harder. His development becomes battling not only the game of football, which is already, an uphill battle as it is for any young quarterback, but now you're fighting another battle with injuries. And then when you finally get
McCarthy.
Yeah, exactly. I was, I wasn't big on McCarthy to begin with, but very good point. I mean, McCarthy got injured his first year. A lot of people were like, yeah, he got hurt. He could sit. He could learn. Next year he'll benefit from it. I'm going to be honest with you, just from 3 weeks, other than outside of one quarter of football, JJ McCarthy looks like the worst quarterback in football. Carson Wentz came in and he looks better than McCarthy.
Exactly.
And you got to ask, how much is he favoring that knee? Because he's thinking about that knee. You can't tell me that a young quarterback like that coming out those expectations every time he drops back, he's thinking about that knee. So, I mean, you could do it, and if Jackson Dart succeeds, he'll be that exception. But I'm a bit, I'm very old school when it comes to football. I am. I'm just very old school. I don't know if it's because I'm a Colts fan, and that's just kind of the way the Colts run things, or I grew up watching Penn State. They're very old school. I like patterns, and history shows that when you let a quarterback sit, it gives whether the situation is perfect or not. If you let the quarterback sit, it gives them the best chance to succeed. That's all I got. But like I said, I mean, I like how I say that's all I got, and then 2 seconds later I'm saying something else. But like I said, you could throw him in the fire. You could do that, and if he comes out of it, cool. He's battle tested already. He's young. That's cool, but the chances of that happening with that offensive line are pretty low.
And with that schedule.
Yeah, and the schedule as well. Another good point that I have not talked about. That schedule is brutal. So if he loses all those games, maybe it's his fault or not. You can't tell me that New York media is going to be all over him like, ugh, Jackson Dart is 1-4 against good teams. So then they're going to start that narrative. He can't beat good teams. So, and that's another narrative on top of he's just not good. And it's just, if you start 0-5, 0-6, maybe beat the Saints, and their Saints are a pretty bad team. It's just I mean, you guys know how the media is. They bring up anything that they could to get clicks, and you know what brings clicks? Negativity. You know what kills confidence? A bunch of negativity. So I don't know. I just feel like everything is pointing to it. I'm old school. I'm pattern. Come on, Jeff. You know us, man. I'm like an old guy. This guy likes to say I'm like 70 or 80 years old the way I act.
You are.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, Jeff. But at the same time, it's like we can't give New York fans everything they want because that's just gonna ruin. First of all, it's gonna ruin his confidence, especially if he struggles with the system that he's in. And personally, that system I don't believe is designed for him to begin with. Yeah, there might be a few things in that system that he likes to run, but they're going to need to sit down with him and find out what type of system that he does like to run and get a coach that runs that system.
And tell me, it's not good to look up to a head coach that can't handle the media either.
That too.
And
because Brian Daboll can't. That dude, I cannot tell you how many times I've seen Brian Daboll lash out at the media in ways that you've never seen a head coach do. You don't do that stuff. That's not a good look on you, the franchise. I think you think about that. If that's how he is to the media, how is he behind closed doors?
Exactly.
Oh no, like he does it in front of the camera on the sidelines all the time. He rips into Russ. He ripped into Daniel Jones all the time. But I mean, I absolutely love your guys' arguments, and I understand all of them, and I respect all of them. But that's what I love about sports and about having a podcast. You can have arguments and still disagree with people, but have a lot of respect for them. I was run out of things to say to try and combat my argument, but me, I'm very new school. I'm more of you learn best being out there and actually playing. That's just how my thought process works, is if you will get through the negativity and your mistakes by actually doing it. That's how I think.
I understand that.
I will give you that on just
and I understand with the New York media, it is tough. It is tough with that, and he's right with the negativity with the New York media. Oh, he looks so bad. He looks so bad. But again, you got to work through your mistakes. Every great player does it. And I think this is just, he just has to work through it. If he has a bad game, he has a bad game. He will work through that mistake and he'll get better. To me, I think get game by game as he plays through this season. And he'll have Rush, he'll have Winston on the sideline cheering him on, helping him out, walking him through things, showing him things on the tablet that he missed. And I think he will get better throughout each game. That's just how I feel about him.
I know Russ ain't teach him nothing. Russ just seems like that kind of. I'm not trying to bash Rush, but Rush seems like one of those guys. He's just not for, like he's very, he's very business-like and like, oh, I need to do what I got to do. These guys aren't family. These guys aren't, I feel like he's at that kind of attitude, like they're coworkers, and I get that. But in a game of football, where you're making, how much do you make as a quarterback? $40, $50 million a year. I know Russ isn't making that much. Was he making 15 maybe? Something like that.
15, something like that.
10, 15 mil, yeah.
Still, you're making $15 million. You can't go out there and treat that like it's your life. That's what you did grow up. And I mean, he does, but I feel like there's a leader aspect, a leadership. And we always heard this in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a leader.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As a veteran, you need to step up as a leader, and he doesn't. And he doesn't. No. He didn't do it with the Steelers last year. He doesn't step up as a leader. He doesn't. Winston does it more than he does.
No.
And like, let's be honest, Winston is way less more accomplished than Russ is. Russ needs to show that he is a former Super Bowl quarterback. He needs to show it, and he doesn't.
Right.
Which is unfortunate.
And Winston's like the opposite. It's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Winston is this happy-go-lucky, all these crazy clips, funny clips, and you love to see it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to touch on one thing you said before. For them to learn through, their mistakes and stuff.
I like that. That's a good point, though, too.
That's great at every position except the quarterback position.
Yes.
The simple fact is, and the fact that you're actually pushing for a rookie to start, a
It's
rookie
like
quarterback.
crazy. I know. But it's like I just saw the team in the I mean, you watched the preseason. I didn't even need to watch it. I saw clips. Just the team's energy was different. It was so different with him out there. Like Russ is so just boring and dull, and yeah, he will throw the deep ball for 60-yard touchdown. But the energy with Jackson Dart out there was just like it's just so different, and the team needs some kind of different energy.
Sometimes boring is good.
Yeah, and
Well, clearly
sometimes,
not right now.
yeah, you do need that energy, but you got two quarterbacks that resembles that energy.
One's a
I,
vet, one's a rookie.
yes, and I would go with the veteran. That way he could, and like I said, continue to use Jackson Dart on those little packages that they have for him, because that way he's still getting the NFL experience, and he's not taking a beating while doing it. He
Right.
comes in. I mean, I don't know. I don't like the fact that they run that option play with him.
Yeah, because then it's like it defeats the whole purpose. He's gonna get hit at that point eventually.
Exactly.
Like, but
But you just do a couple of little package plays, you know, like the Steelers did with Justin Fields.
mhm.
Do some plays like that, at least that way he'll still get the NFL experience because he can now at that point by week 8 should be able to gauge the speed of the offense of a game. Whether is he in for like 3 or 4 plays, that he can still gauge the speed of the game, and it'll get him more comfortable to the point where he doesn't feel like the weight of the team is on his shoulders to pull the team through, get wins, and stuff like that. He'll be learning at the pace that he needs to learn, because let's face it, me and Jason said this countless times. He is not a first round talent.
No.
I never said he was a first round talent. I'm just saying.
So when you don't have that first round talent, putting him in this early,
He's raw.
yeah, exactly.
Very raw. He's like,
And I get what you're saying, Jeff. I get what you're saying completely. He has to learn, but
He's
you
either
also got to do it a smart way.
he's either gonna learn this year or next year. Either
And I would
one.
rather him learn next year with a new head coach, with the new system.
Gotcha. That was a great argument, guys. That was a great argument, and it was crazy. We still have another fucking game to talk about. The One of the wilder games of the weekend, Monday Night Football, Lions and Ravens. Derrick Henry choked again, and he fucking fumbled, and he cost me my fucking fantasy win again because Lamar went down and
fantasy.
yeah. Jay, how's your fantasy league doing?
Oh, you'll see.
Montgomery cost me mine.
Listen, I never draft to start well. I always draft for the potential at the end. The players that show up towards the end of the season. It happens every year.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Tony, I'm letting you know. In his league, he's like 0-3. I'm 2-0. So,
I'm 1-2.
all right, Lions and Ravens. Jared Goff. Lions did good, but Goff was kind of a bit of a quiet game. But he made the opportunistic throws when he needed to. And Dan Campbell, oh my goodness, does he have big balls? Because they had a 4th-and-1 play there, and they threw yeah, Jay, look at me like that again. He threw a pass play on 4th-and-1 to Amon-Ra St. Brown to ice the game. That takes a lot of gut and courage. But Goff, he went 20 for 28, 202 yards and touchdown. Dave Montgomery had a huge game, 12 carries, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Whew.
Jameer Gibbs, the two-headed monster, were back at it again. 22 carries, 67 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Amon-Ra, 7 for 77 and a touchdown. Lamar had a really good game, 21 for 27, 288 and 3 touchdowns. Derrick Henry had 12 carries, 50 yards, and touchdowns, and one costly fumble once again. Mark Andrews, 6 receptions, 91 yards, and 2 touchdowns, and Bateman got a touchdown as well. This game is more about Ravens, not even Ravens, but Derrick Henry choking this game away again for the Ravens with another late game fumble. And this Ravens defense is surprisingly not doing too good this year. Against the two good teams, the Bills put up 41, and now the Lions put up 38. This is a real what?
Nothing. I'm just making faces.
Well, I was like, they did play the Bills, right? Because I'm not losing my mind, right? Because Ravens, yeah, because it was a late game field goal was 41-40 in the first week. I mean, this Ravens team is a lot of questions. They're beating themselves a lot. Like me and Tony said all year long, this team should be number one team in the league, but they will beat themselves time and time again. And this time, it's not even the play calling; it's Derrick Henry. Out of all people, he's fumbled in all 3 games this year, which is an anomaly.
Should go and play
Yeah,
for
I
the
think.
Cowboys.
But yeah, I mean, I think. Um, again, this game is more about the Ravens beating themselves again more than the Lions winning because Derrick Henry kind of helped them win the game.
Listen, I could go through this game very quickly. The Lions beat the Ravens how the Ravens usually beat other teams. The Lions just out physical
Ran
them.
it,
Ran the
down the throat.
just were so physical. The Lions beat the Ravens at the Ravens' own game. And they sacked Lamar Jackson 7 times. How many times do you hear Lamar Jackson being sacked 7 times? Why?
Never.
Yeah. They ran the football like the Ravens usually do. They played defense like the Ravens usually do. And they played it better. Lions are looking good. And they're looking a lot better than I thought they would this year. I thought the Lions were going to regress. Yeah, no, the Lions looking pretty good, but the Ravens, on paper they have the best team in football on paper, but we always talk about the teams every offseason, even though the Ravens are usually good every year. So I mean, it was very warranted. It was very much earned, this talk. And I don't think it's all Lamar Jackson. I think Lamar Jackson has been playing absolutely phenomenal. But when you can't stop the other team from scoring, when you can't stop the run, when David Montgomery rushes for 150, 140 something, 150 something, 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, it was 151 and 2 touchdowns, and then Gibbs tacked on another 68 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing.
Yeah. When you allow over 200 rushing yards, you're not going to win many games at all in the National Football League. It's like that's kind of like a magic number. Once you hit 200 rushing yards, it's almost like that team won. And if they didn't, it's like that's it's surprising when they don't lose. But the Lions, Jared Goff, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown might be the most clutch receiver in the NFL. 3rd or 4th down, it always goes to him. You could be sitting there watching the game on TV, and you'd be like, yeah, this is probably going to Amon-Ra St. Brown. So if you think the Ravens definitely know. The rest of the NFL knows, but they still can't stop him. When another team knows where you're going and what you're going to do, and you could still do that very thing, when you could run the football like they did when the Ravens knew they were running the football at the end of the game, when you could do those kind of things, that's when you're an elite football team. And Lions, man, looking good. And I'm not gonna say that the Ravens aren't doing good, so the Lions just got away with one here. No, I'm not gonna say that. This is I see some people saying that the Lions beat up on a Ravens team that just isn't good. They're good. They just not figuring things out. But let's give credit to the Lions. Let's give credit to the Bills for disrupting that offense, because that's not an easy offense to disrupt. But game 1, you can't shake that out of your head. 15-point lead and 3 minutes left?
Like 3 minutes left, yeah.
And you're a football team that when you get up scores like that, you never lose those games if you can run the football like the Ravens usually do. So the Ravens
And
just
they
can't.
did run it. And they did run it, but Derrick Henry fumbled it twice.
Yeah.
They actually
So
ran smart play calling, and he's fucked them twice. He's fumbled the ball on them twice.
yeah,
So
it's just I mean, the Lions just beat the Ravens at their own game, and the Ravens big game this weekend versus the Chiefs in Kansas
Mhm.
City. Who's going to be
one
1
of those
and 3? Who would have?
teams are going 1-3. That is crazy.
What if they die? That'd be wild. That'd be absolutely absurd. Think of the Bills right now. The Bills are just enjoying this, like 3-0 undefeated. Ravens, Chiefs 1-3. It's all right. The Colts are filling for either the Ravens or the Chiefs. We got you.
All right, Tony,
Nah,
what's your thoughts
I'm
on this
kidding.
game?
Good, Tony.
The only thing I got is the bully got punched in the mouth.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Mm-hmm. All right, now we got our pick'ems from last week. We have it's like our last segment. I have them pulled up. Tony, a rough week from you. 80 points. Me and Frank, we went 100. We got 120 points.
That's it.
So yeah, that's it. Because the Falcons wanted to poop the bed against the fucking Panthers, along with the Packers. So last
What
week,
was Frank's like safe pick? You know that Survivor League he's in. What was his like safe pick?
yeah, he picked. Who did he pick? Oh, he
Is
picked the Seahawks.
Okay. Is he still in that? I'm sure he's
Yeah.
still did pick the Seahawks. He's still okay. Okay.
Yeah, I was stressing my balls off. I was like, all right, I'm gonna pick the Bucks because they're going against Tyrod Taylor, and it was the closest game of the fucking week. But I got the win anyway. And this week I'm going with the Lions against the Browns. So that's my eliminator challenge one that I'm doing. Okay, so for pigskin pick'em, Tony, we all got the Lions. We all got the Falcons wrong, the Bucks right, the Texans, which we're not even going to talk about them. They are absolutely garbage right now. They lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. The
Hey, the
Bills,
Jaguars
yeah,
aren't
right.
that bad. Jaguars are all right.
They have Trevor Lawrence. They're bad. We all got the Seahawks right. Tony, you went with the Bengals. That was wrong. And me and Frank got the Vikings. Oh, me and Frank went with the Bears. You went with the Cowboys. We went with the Niners. You went with the Cardinals. The Commanders game we all got right. The Packers game we all got wrong. Colts game we got right. Chargers game we got right. Chiefs game, me and Frank got right. You stick with your Giants. Again, if you guys start either Winston or Dart, I think you guys win that game. Ravens game we got wrong. Steelers game we got right. And Eagles game we got right. Now, week 3 or 4. It's already week 4 already, guys. It's going by too quick. Seahawks Cardinals.
Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks as well.
Seattle's really
out now.
Seahawks have a lot of injuries though. Devon Witherspoon has been limited in practice. Leonard Williams is limited. Julian Love, their safety, is limited.
Yeah, but the Cardinals lost James Conner.
Yeah, I think that's a huge
I
loss.
think you
So
could
it's not
step
having
in
James
though.
Conner. I don't know.
Yeah, the Cardinals do. On the other side, I think the Cardinals do have like, what is it? 4 out of 5 of their offense linemen are hurt.
Yeah.
Some are questionable. I don't think Paris Johnson even practiced. No, it was Calvin Beachum didn't practice. I think it was their tackle that they drafted a couple. I think Paris Johnson is limited. So yeah, they got some injuries. What are we laughing about?
Tony was like looking at you like. But yeah, I'm going with the Seahawks. I think I don't know. They have a lot of momentum riding. They're, I think, to me, the better team right now. So who are you going with, J Dog?
Oh, I didn't say. I'm sorry, Seattle.
All right.
Go to Seattle.
All
After all of that.
Yeah. All right. All Seattle on this poll. Vikings Steelers again in Dublin, Ireland at 9:30 in the morning. You best bet I'm getting out of work and I'm watching this freaking game. All right, I'm going Steelers, of course. I'm going with my Steelers. I think we win. Oh, Tony's good. Tony's gonna do it to me. I know he is.
Sorry, Jeff. I'm going Vikings.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, Jeff. I'm going Vikings too, man. I just think I think Minnesota is one of the best rosters in the league. And
Hopefully Carson Wentz looks like a piece of shit like he did on the Colts, man. I hope so.
yeah,
And
all
that
right.
defense
It's all
is
right.
Commanders, Falcons.
Commanders.
Yeah, I'm going with the Commanders after
I wouldn't be shocked if the
Falcons
Falcons
made
win
last
this
week.
game, though. I wouldn't be shocked, but I'm going Commanders.
Wow, tough game upcoming. Saints, Bills.
Saints are sneaky. This is one of those weird games in the beginning of the year where the Saints are sneaky. The Saints offense is interesting. If the Saints could come out quick, score quick, they got an opportunity. But at the
I
end of
still
the day,
think their
no.
defense can stop the Bills. That's the issue. They don't have the offense to keep going with the Bills. So I'm going with the Bills.
Spencer Rattler, though, he's my QB coming out when he came out. Watch out,
Yeah,
Rattler. Rattler is the man in New Orleans.
Yeah, well,
But I'm
they're
going
playing in
Buffalo.
So, yeah, but while they're playing in Buffalo, they ain't playing New Orleans. Tony, I'm guessing you're going with the Saints.
Bills.
All right, Browns, Lions. Go with the Lions.
Lions.
I don't know. That Browns defense is dangerous.
Yeah, but
Will they be another
this is how
NFC
I look
North
at
team?
it. This is what helped me decide this game. The Browns defense is tough, but the Lions offense line, the run game is tougher. It's going to tire them out. So I think the Browns keep it close for the first half, but the second half, I think the Browns defense is just tired and exhausted. So I think the Lions offense.
I'm still going with Lions.
Okay. All right. Hey,
All right.
It might be. I don't know. Never know.
I just don't see. I don't see the Browns beating two NFC North teams in a row. I just don't see it. That would be an absolute shock. Panthers, Patriots.
Panthers.
I'm going Patriots.
Well, it is in New England.
Yeah, I think they don't fumble the ball 5 times and they win the game.
Patriots.
Chargers, Giants. I'm going Chargers. As much as I hyped up Jackson Dart, I don't see him winning this game, but I think it'll be, like Jay said, a lot closer than you think.
What about your guy? He's ready. No, no.
Again, against the Chargers defense, he's not ready, but I think again he'll do decent to where this game will be close. It won't be like a blowout like everyone thinks. Tony, are you going with the Giants?
Of course.
Oh, he has faith in them. Eagles, Bucks. I hate to go against Baker Mayfield, but I'm going with the Eagles, man. I'm sorry, Baker.
I'm
sorry. I'm sorry, Baker.
If Tristan Wirfs doesn't play,
I'm going with the Bucks.
If Tristan
I don't know.
And Chris Godwin come back, I'm going Tampa Bay. But until
Mike Evans is out too.
Yeah, but at least Godwin will step in. He may not be 100%, but at least he's stepping into. I'm taking Philly unless Wirfs and Godwin start.
I don't know how Yabuka's gonna do with being the number 1 target now. Again, like that's if Godwin doesn't play. I don't think he will be able to create as much separation.
I think he'll be all right. I like Ibuka. He was one of my best receivers going out. I think he's really good.
Titans, Texans. I won't with the Texans. If they lose to the Titans, they should just wrap up their season right here. That's it.
Houston.
Texans.
Colts, Rams. Jay, I'm sorry, I'm going with the Rams.
Don't say sorry to me. You said sorry the first 2 weeks. You finally believe last week. It's okay. Keep saying sorry. I have the Colts losing too. It's okay.
Hey, man, I picked them last week, so.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We enjoyed being the underdog.
But I mean, again, I don't think your guys' defense can stop this Rams offense consistently.
Me neither.
Jags, Niners. I go with the Niners. I don't think
I don't
Jacksonville's
care.
actually that good.
I don't care how beat up the Niners are. Niners are so well coached. They find a way.
Agreed.
I don't think Jacksonville's that good. I mean, they've beat the Panthers and another bad team. They haven't beaten anyone of good yet. Here we go. Game of the week. Ravens, Chiefs. I went with the Ravens. I see Ravens winning this one. Even though it is at Arrowhead, I don't know. I just see them winning.
Ravens.
Yeah. The Chiefs beat the Giants by 13. And again, if Russell Wilson wasn't playing and throwing the ball at the back of the end zone 4 times, I think the Giants put up way more points than that. So, Bears, Raiders. I'm going with the guy, Caleb Williams.
Bears.
He has 2 good games in a row.
Raiders.
Man. Packers, Cowboys. I'm going Pack.
Screw you, Dallas. Green Bay.
These poor Cowboys don't have a chance. Micah Parsons about to have a fucking field day. Oh my god. 2 Monday night games this week. They're both underwhelming as fuck. The Jets and the Dolphins.
Jets.
I got the Dolphins just winning by default. I think they're a way better team. I think this is like one of their 5 wins this year. What'd you guys say? Because I didn't hear it. I didn't hear what you guys said.
The goddamn
Dolphins.
Jets. You guys get that
and
reference or no? I'll be very disappointed if you guys don't get that reference. No.
the goddamn Jets.
The goddamn Jets. No.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think because that sounds familiar.
Tony? No. Big Daddy? Adam Sandler?
Oh.
There you go. All right, Bengals, Broncos.
Broncos.
Man, Broncos.
Give me the Bengals.
Are you serious?
No. No.
No, I was say there's no way.
I'm going
Jake Browning throws at minimum 2 interceptions this game. Again, they can have rust, right?
Nasty, bro. Huh?
Like Tony said, they can have Russell Wilson if they want him.
I'll give him away for a bag of cookies.
Good bag of cookies. All right, 2 hours and 48 minutes later.
It's a pretty long show.
J-Man, again, we appreciate you filling in. Tony, I think, stayed on more than he anticipated to.
I did.
Because he really didn't expect to really stay on too much. He expected it to just be me and you. But that's okay. But yeah, again, we appreciate you coming in, filling in for him. Again, anybody watching, go subscribe to his podcast or his network. It's in the comments of GW Sports Network. Posts again some great content, a lot of Colts content, but he does weekly rankings of all the NFL teams, weekly predictions for every game. He puts some good stuff up. Make sure to go over, drop a subscribe, hit the notification bells because he puts out a lot of great content, even though he is still sore with his appendix injury. He's still pumping out all the content that he can. So again, we appreciate him coming on and helping us out today.
Yes, thank you very much, Jay.
Appreciate you guys coming on, Tony. I hope you feel better, brother. What is it, like a nasty cold? Like a nasty, like, because I hear you like
cold.
Yeah, ugh, hate those. But wishing you the best. Hoping you get better, brother.
I'm going to let you guys close this out.
All right.
All right, guys. Appreciate you, Jeff, for those words. Had a good time coming on, talking some football. I didn't expect to get into it over an hour about with Jackson Dart, but
But hey, man, I mean, that's what this podcast is about. It's all right if we disagree. We all respect each other's opinions. And that's what's good about sports. You can always have different opinions, and it's okay to not agree with other people. It is completely fine.
exactly.
Again, you have your own take on him. He has his own take on him, and I have my own take on him, and Frank does too. So, but again, yeah, it was a great show. Again, I appreciate you coming on. Man, it was a pleasure. We got to get on yours again soon. Eventually. Hope to see you back at work soon. I will say that. Because everybody does miss you there. They always ask about you. So, I'll text you after this is done. I gotta go to the bathroom too. So, again, thank you for everybody for tuning in. Hold on. I gotta hit the sponsor. I don't have the thing like Tony does, but Dubby, I gotta ungreen screen myself. Give me a second. Our sponsor, we didn't hit it when Tony was here, but that's okay because Doobie, our sponsor, again, you can get 10% off your order with using our promo code DropZone. And again, we have a store, zoneelitewear.com. You can get 15% off of your order over $35 before taxes. So check out our store, check out Dubby, our sponsor. We appreciate if you do get anything. Again, remember, use our promo code DropZone to get some percentage off of everything. So again, Jay, once again, thank you for coming on. It was a pleasure having you, always entertaining. And we will be here again, same time next week. Jay, you'll probably be in the comments next week, but that's how we like it. So once again, for me, Jeff Walsh, that was JDW or Jay signing off. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
Colts.